On Wingo, it was 68-ish.
What's up, everybody?
Mid to high 60s up in the
Hey.
rocks, and down lake, it was like mid to high 70s, 10-degree difference.
What up, what up, what up? We're back. Welcome to another episode of Beer Radio. We got Tony in the house, Paul in the house. We're hanging out for another episode of Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Mercy.
I just want to make sure it's packed the right way.
I
That's
feel
all.
bad for your girlfriend.
What about her?
Just
Hello. Hey.
is it working now?
No.
Can you hear us?
Still not working right. Maybe that'll help.
What,
Thanks,
wasn't
Chad.
plugged in?
No, he had
You
it
can hit
muted.
your own button.
I did. Didn't.
I don't know what
It must
problem-
override it.
I don't know. Hello.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
So, anyways,
Now we
welcome to
can-
another episode of Bass Beat Radio. Tony and Paul in the house, and we're hanging out, talking about some bass fishing, probably some random shit like normal.
Oh, yeah.
I've got something to talk about.
Okay, this feels a little bit like a pissing into the wind episode with a target. We're gonna pee on something.
So I want to talk about weather changes affecting fishing, because I spent 5 days on the Potomac, and the weather made such a
Bless you, twice.
What's up, Tommy Thomas Walker?
the weather was such a big deal that I mean it was incredible. Like it went from super phenomenal, like we're thinking like man it's going to take like 18 to 20 a day to like 12 pounds a day.
When was this?
last weekend,
What tournament was that?
the TBF semifinals.
So this is over?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I sucked.
Oh, that sucks.
I was a rider.
Oh, okay. Who'd you have paired up, if you don't mind me asking?
So the first day, some dude from DC, I can't remember his name. Second day I was with Roger Shirky, which was cool. I learned a lot fishing with him, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Delaware guy, super nice guy. He actually had a chance to make nationals, so I just kind of sat on the back of the boat and fished, tried to fish as little of the stuff that he was fishing as possible.
Cool.
And just let him do his thing. Told him don't worry about me on the back. Just do your thing and try to make it. As I was out of it on the first day, I only had 4.5 pounds on the first day,
This was last weekend.
and that was 4 fish.
Holy shit. Sounds like the gunpowder.
That was 4. I had 4 fish for 4.5 pounds.
That's kind of like what we were talking about before we went live, is just how... Well, me and Tony think the gunpowder is terrible. Paul does not.
I don't
Like I
think
said,
it's
I've been
terrible.
I've been
I think it's
smashing them at
fishing
gunpowder.
terrible.
I think it's
fishing terrible.
Well, yeah, it's fishing terrible.
So here's a question, and you weren't on last week, but
No.
I want to get back, and Rob's probably not watching, but Rob Steiner had a really good comment that I really liked it, and it was very thought-provoking to me.
Let's tag Rob.
Rob said, because we were all talking about the gunpowder and how tough it's been fishing, and he said the fish went from Joppa, some of them, not all of them, went from Joppa to Dundee because of the grass.
It's possible,
So you think it's possible too?
but I ain't been catching shit in Dundee, so I don't know.
Now,
I don't know if
here's-
I believe it.
Here's my thing, right? My question is, I could see that if we're talking in June. I can't see that if we're talking September, right? Because they all winter in Joppa Town. So why would
all
they?
winter in Joppa Town?
Yeah, but a lot of them do.
Where do you think those spring fish in Dundee come from?
I would love to know where those fish winter. In
Probably
Dundee.
in Dundee.
Yeah, but where? Well,
I mean-
they're probably in the marina where it's deep. It's the only deep water around.
There's no
Probably-
deep water in the marina. The marina's shallow as crap.
There's not like a couple 7-foot holes in there.
I'm guessing probably in the Creek Channel. The Creek Channel going back to the marina, toward the marina, is pretty deep.
Yeah.
So like right past Saltpeter, like from like the mouth of Saltpeter in. I mean, you have a pretty deep creek channel, so I mean they could winter in there. But if we've learned anything from the Upper Bay, it's that they don't need deep water.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They just need water that's not a lot of current.
Yeah.
Like that's way more important than having deep water. But so yeah, weather. So we went down on Wednesday to start practicing. I went down with Frank, and the weather was kind of it had been cloudy kind of rainy, for days, right?
Right.
And dude, it was on fire. I mean, just a couple of the best days that I've ever had on the Potomac as far as numbers go. And catching good fish. Frank caught one almost 6. He caught another 5, in practice. And
Are you guys still fishing a lot of grass?
the entire Potomac is grass.
So it hasn't started really dying off yet?
No, not at all. It's grass from at least Aquia to Piscataway is just grass.
That's pretty cool.
But
It's also a lot. Like, it's a lot of water to cover.
so what happened was you had quite a few days of stable weather in a row, right? It wasn't the best weather in the world, but it was stable. It had been stable for days and days. So Saturday, first day of the tournament, comes around. A little front moves through on Friday, and then all of a sudden on Saturday, it's 85 degrees and bright sun. Bright sun, high pressure, conditions completely change. Those fish just shut down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
shut down. The biggest bag of the tournament was from a co-angler
No way.
who had 16 pounds.
Damn.
One day.
That's crazy.
So so the weather change made such a big difference in what was going on, how you were catching them. I mean, I don't think we talk enough about not just, weather conditions, but stable weather. Like, has it been the same conditions for a few days in a row? And this is something that, somebody told me a long time ago when wintertime fishing is like, man, as long as you have 3 days in a row of stable weather, you can catch them.
Yeah. Yeah. That does seem
But
to
if
be
it's
true.
up and down, like, you don't catch them. And we had stable weather coming into practice. And like I said, we obliterated these fish in practice. I mean, it was insane how many fish we caught.
Small areas or just one
Everywhere.
here, one there, and type of thing?
No, we would catch them everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Like, literally everywhere. Everywhere we went, we caught fish.
That kind of sounds like my practice today. That usually means you're in for a tough tournament.
Well, it all, again, it goes back to conditions. If the conditions had stayed the same, if we hadn't had that huge weather shift, I think it would have been a smash fest.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, the conditions came back to what they were, but because you had that break, they're not stable again. Right. So, in a couple of days after that, Monday or Tuesday, they probably started eating again.
Yeah.
So,
Where'd you guys launch? Smallwood?
yeah.
Good old Smallwood.
Good old Smallwood.
I like Leesylvania. We launched there for the first tournament of the year because there was a triathlon at Smallwood.
It's a nice ramp.
It's nice, and I think it might be like 10 minutes faster actually to get there. Mostly
About the same.
highway driving, but a lot of parking. And the only thing that sucks is like if it's blowing, you can't hide anywhere. Like you got to run somewhere. But at least like if it's blowing, which it usually is on the Potomac, if you're launching Smallwood, you can at least stay in there and stay away from it.
Right, you can go back in the creek, and just fish the creek without having to go out into the gnarly stuff.
I went back there really, really far in practice, and I did not catch a damn thing. Like I went back far, like past the islands and stuff back there. It was cool, but I just couldn't get on them. Couldn't get anything going.
They were apparently eating back there in practice.
Were they?
Yeah. But we had a flood tide, and it's very...
Kind of makes sense.
From what I heard, it's very tide dependent.
Yeah.
So with that flood tide, it just kind of killed those fish back there.
You think those fish are resident fish back there?
Yeah, those fish never leave. There's no reason for them to. There's always bait in there. There's always, there's grass in the summer. There's pads. They have plenty of cover. There's plenty of structure back there for them to get on. Like I said, there's always plenty of bait back there.
Right.
Those fish don't leave. I mean, they may leave. Some of them may leave, but it's just like anywhere. Like you have the resident population, then you'll have like any lake. You have those migratory fish that'll come in there in winter and spawn and then move out back to the main lake, stuff like that. So,
when we were putting time in on Conowingo on your boat, was that last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Was that last year or 2 years? I'm trying to figure out like. I think tomorrow, since I kind of bounced around today and hit some of my spots that I just kind of bounce around, I think what I'm going to do next or tomorrow is maybe do like a 6-hour day, but stay south. stay south all day.
Yeah.
And then pick apart a couple creeks and hit some areas and really focus on it and try to figure it out.
Go get out there in the middle.
There was a lot of birds working out there today, and I just drove past them.
Go
And
get
my thing with it is like it's so hard to. My thing is I've sat there when the birds are out in the middle of the lake and you throw whatever, you'll catch a couple. I'm talking in the middle on nothing, just on bait. But it's like, how do you find that in a tournament? Like you don't.
It's hard.
And you gotta. That's an all day thing. Like you dedicate that. Like I'd rather take my chances at hitting spot, and trying to catch them, versus.
Look, I will look at it this way. It's a 1-day tournament.
Yeah.
Are you fishing to get third place or are you fishing to get first?
I mean, I like.
You want to win.
Yeah. So me and Miles
Just
fished.
swing for it.
Me and Miles fished on our own boats today, and we definitely, between the two of us, our two best are. Now we fish different areas, but my best and his best were combined about 16, which I'm happy with that. This time of year,
16 pounds is going to get. I mean, that's going to give you a shot.
but you know,
I don't think it's going to be enough.
We also
but-
doubled. We basically doubled the amount of distance and time that we covered between the two
Right.
boats. So, you know,
But take out all the dead water that you both fished.
yeah, true.
It would even out.
I definitely like we were texting beforehand. Like we definitely have a plan there. We got about 12 spots that are going to be pull up on it, catch a couple, change baits, and then move, and then just run the merry-go-round. It's like the all day milk run, if they're biting, of course. I've had days in October where every offshore structure you pull up on, they're on it, and then in the tournament, it's like nope, they're not there.
Since they use radar to find Josh Jones fishing.
They've been so what's up, Brian? So they've been. I mean, people use radar on bass boats on the Great Lakes all the time.
That's pretty wild.
They do it to monitor the weather because you're on such a big body of water. Like you have to be like able to monitor like storms and stuff, like where they're coming, know like when to get out of Dodge. I've actually seen. I think it was Ike and Ellie had the Lowrance radar system, like weather radar system, mounted on like a 2 foot pole in his backseat pedestal, and then like had it strapped down.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so it didn't come out.
I'm curious. I'm wondering if, and I'm just thinking out loud because I didn't check it today, but I will check it tomorrow. I wonder if those big largemouths started up on the lake, started moving back in the creeks yet.
No, water's too warm.
I think I agree. I think it's a little early, especially in the southern part of the lake. You still got water in the 70s. I mean, I'm still going to check it just to check it, but it's like
Water's still too warm.
well, that was the thing is up like Peach Bottom and north, it's a fall bite. Like they're doing the fall shit right now, but down south, it's still like late summer. Like they're still in their little offshore holes, 25, 30 feet deep.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yeah, it's that water needs to cool down a lot for that south end to really start firing.
yeah. Yep.
In my experience, anyway. Not that I have a ton of experience up there, but
There were some.
I've been known to win a couple tournaments up there.
I think I caught one of my keepers today down south. One of them was down south. I won't say where, but Miles did catch a 5-pound smallmouth today, so that was pretty cool to see.
That is, that's pretty wild. That's a big
That is a
smallmouth.
very big smallmouth.
And if you know how we
That's
caught, if you know how, I won't say, I'll say it after the championship. But if you guys know how we caught it, it would blow your mind because it blew my
I mean,
mind.
you could probably say it now. It's not
It
going
was
to
a
play.
9-inch mag drift.
It was a fucking frog.
You said you weren't going to say it.
Yeah, but I said it, so who cares? But I was like, dude, there's no way. There's no
That's
way.
so funny.
I was like that guy on TikTok. What? No,
No way.
way. Fuck's sake, pulled out my frog.
What? No way.
But yeah, it was crazy, dude.
I mean, we catch them on frogs on the flats all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Well, hyper
But
shads are
the
nice.
question,
I like hyper
the
shads.
question's going to remain: is that a pattern or is that a one-off?
I would guess it's a one-off.
I also, and after he told me the deal, I was like, yeah, it sounds like a one-off. Cool,
depends.
awesome experience, but sounds like a one-off to me.
I mean, there's a lot of factors.
Still cool.
Very cool. Anytime you catch a big fish on top water is cool.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a frog, buzzbait, spook, popper. whatever
I remember when I used to wreck bass on top water. And now
I had the
I can't get
worst.
a top water bar to
Dude, I had the worst
Man,
top
the
water.
top water bites sucked this year.
I was gonna say I had the
Terrible, dude. It
worst
was
top.
not good.
I had the worst top water year I've ever had this year. I think I
was
caught
awful.
3 fish on top water all year in tournaments.
There was like I don't think I caught a fish on top water in the gunpowder.
I did not. I did not catch a top water fish on a
was so
Thursday
bad.
nighter this year.
Pathetic.
No, I caught. I did catch a
was
couple on a frag one
pathetic,
time.
Absolutely pathetic.
I did catch a couple on a frog
we could do that.
one day.
The
Even on upper bay.
Gunpowder River is absolutely terrible. I don't know what happened. I think the Chinese came, okay, and they poisoned it. I don't know. Okay, Kamala Harris poisoned the gunpowder. You said it. You heard it here first. Let me tell you. There will be an investigation after I win Ohio.
Even on the upper bay though, like I never got on like a good frog bite on the upper bay.
Bubs.
Why is it so good?
Dude,
I don't
I
know.
honestly...
Why is it so good?
So like this year, I've kind of learned that it seems like, because I'm still somewhat new in this game, right? First tournament I ever fished was 2017. Had a boat in 18, and really the last couple of years started getting into it. I think, like, in my opinion, the best way to learn a body of water in this area is you have to dedicate it like a year to it. Like you fish it
for sure.
for a year. And like for me, this year was Conowingo. I
But
learned
it takes
so
it's not
much.
it's not just dedicating
What's
a
up,
year to
Tommy?
it. It's dedicating all of your time to it every year because everything changes so much.
Yeah.
Especially on the title.
Yeah.
Dude, it just, I don't know, man. Like,
The biggest thing for me,
you gotta drive up there all the time.
The biggest
Go up
thing for
there,
me is,
visit
like,
the place.
if I
Oh, yeah.
fish,
That's why I don't fish up there.
Exactly.
Dude.
It's just like, it's a really good fishery. I totally agree. But to go up there two times a week, it's a pain in the ass.
here's the other thing: you can go and absolutely bust your face in trying to catch a good 5 fish limit on the gunpowder, the flats, or whatever. On a bad day up
But
there,
at least it's 8 minutes from my house.
on the day on a bad day on Conowingo, I can catch 20, 12-inch fish.
Okay, I don't.
Like, I
that
still
doesn't-
catch a ton of fish.
But that
up
doesn't
there.
do anything for me.
No, but it's still enough to keep you interested. And
It's
like
better than not catching anything, I guess, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's better than zeroing for sure.
Yeah.
my thing with that place,
But
is,
if I catch 3 3-pounders on the gunpowder, I would much rather catch 3 3-pounders than 20 12-inchers.
how about 60 12-inches?
Still. Because at that point, I'm going to get bored of catching
I
12
go
inches.
days at a
I'm
time
gonna-
without.
I'm going to start throwing a
catching
9-inch
until
mag
somebody has to
draft.
do a glide bait.
Dude, I like.
If I catch 60s 12 inchers, I'm going to start throwing a 9-inch mag
Like,
draft
if
and
I
just
s-
hoping for a muskie.
Exactly.
Like if I spend 4 or 5 days in a row on the flats, I get so tired of it. Like if I spend all that time in a row on Conowingo, I don't get tired of it because there's so much different shit you can do.
I mean, I do get that for sure.
Deep, shallow banks. You have all different grass. You have everything up there.
Like I fished the gunpowder so much this year. I probably fished the gunpowder more this year than I have ever. I
didn't like it this year.
I did pretty well. on
I
the
didn't put
gunpowder
any
this year.
time in this year, which is part of the reason why I sucked on the gunpowder.
But I've gotten to that point too, like in September, where it was like I'm going out and I'm out there all day, and I'm like just kind of like bored.
yeah,
Oh,
nice. Now I will say the gunpowder this spring was phenomenal. For as bad as it's been for me since like July.
Oh, it
on,
was great in
The
the spring.
spring was fantastic. The spring was awesome. Like I wanted to run
I
down
mean, you
there.
go catch 22.5 to 3-pounders.
I waned to run down there.
Freaking phenomenal.
in that SFT tournament, but we ended
thanks
up
for the
running somewhere
follow,
else.
Tommy.
They were the SFT tournament. When was
That was like end of May.
end of May? They were it was.
It was
they were-
probably just
it was-
on
it
the
was
tail
over.
end.
It was
of
over.
Yeah, but yeah, this year like
You
end
hit
of
it.
April.
You hit it on your club tournament perfect.
Yeah, it was really really good for me.
We hit it.
I had a lot. Of
I hit
fun
it on
with
my club tournament a week late. Our
When
club
was
tournament
yours?
was like May 8th.
and it was already ending by then.
We still caught a ton, but the size wasn't there.
Really?
I mean, I think I had just under 16 pounds.
Did you guys fish the same area that?
Yeah.
What's up, Dan?
Did a
So
lot of the
the-
club
so-
fish that, or was just a
So where
handful
I
of
fished
guys?
was back around I fished back around the corner. The where you caught your bigger fish was like a dead zone.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Nobody really caught anything out of there.
Interesting. Yeah, the gunpowder was fun this year, and like
It was.
In the spring, it was fantastic.
I had
It
a
was
lull.
good in the spring. Everything after the spring.
I just can't-
it
I
was
can't
terrible.
wrap my head around.
I had a little bit of a lull, like at the start of the Thursday nighters.
What's up, Jason?
I ran to the flats in that one, and we caught a ton of. I mean, we caught a ton of fish up there when we ran up there that one night. But then, like, you know, it's not worth the gas to run up there.
Yeah.
Like, it was perfect conditions. Candace wanted to fish the flats. I was like, guess where we're going?
I actually don't.
Full send right to the flats.
With the amount of gas that XB burns, I don't know if I can run to the flats and back in one tank.
No, you definitely can.
Oh, that would be insane.
Dude, that thing, 30
There's no
gallons
way-
per hour at wide open.
That would be insane.
There's no way. There's no way that it burns. So I
Say
can.
30 gallons an hour wide open.
Wide open, yeah.
In my current boat, we'll just go with the Champion since that was a 2-stroke and that Yamaha 8 gas too. I mean, I could make it to the flats, drive around on the flats, and back on half a tank.
Wow.
That's a 48-gallon tank, but so
think
that's 24 gallons.
Let me see. I don't know what the bullet tank has on it, but I'm pretty sure it's like
Probably 40 or
I
something.
think it's in that range. It's not a small tank, but it's like it doesn't hold as much gas as the Ranger for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I mean, it's not really.
Hey, Big Tommy.
But it's what's up, Jason? Yeah, the fishing has been a little funky everywhere. But yeah, like I could make it like on a I could make it up and back on a half a tank of gas, give or take.
It's been a miserable month of fishing for me. Granted, I've only been going out like once a week, which is not good. But
It's all about-
it sucks.
It's all about the time. I mean, even though like the gunpowder was fishing pretty crappy, like I said, I had that lull like at the beginning of the Thursday nighters, and I caught like 2 fish. Well, one of them was a 4-pounder, so that helped. But after that tournament, I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna go out here and figure it out. Like I know these fish are in here, and then I spent pretty much every evening and a weekend day out there, and within a week and a half, like I was back to being able to easily catch a limit, every time I was out. Sometimes you get big ones, sometimes you didn't, but like you could easily catch a limit. And I think it's a lot of times it's just about putting that time out there because it fished so much differently this year.
Yeah. I struggled pretty hard on the gunpowder this year, but I didn't put the time in up there like I did in the past.
They just weren't on the typical stuff. I mean, stuff that I caught them in the summer last year, like my club tournament last summer. I mean, I caught like 17 pounds, and I don't think I caught a fish off the stuff that I caught that 17-pound bag off of this year. That was all stuff that was kind of like sneaky, that not a lot of people fish. Not secret, but not a lot of people fish it, and it just like. In June, it had a ton of small fish on it, but like this summer, when I was expecting to catch bigger fish off of it, I didn't catch anything. Like it was just like desolate.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely. I think. Do you think that's the pressure, or do you think that's the lack of grass, or?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't figured it out. I mean, there's fish around.
I think it's the grass. I think it's a combination between the grass,
Pressure.
the pressure.
Pressure definitely isn't
the
helping.
pressure is more than what it's ever been.
The
And
pressure
then
has
we
been a
also
lot.
have because we don't have grass, we have a lot more silt and mud. So
Oh, dude,
all
there's
three of
entire
those,
flats
all
that are
three of
silted
those
in out there.
factors, in my opinion, have made the gunpowder fish.
Yeah.
Terribly
I mean, there's
in comparison to
there's
other years.
the
Terribly.
grass flat that everyone was fishing last year was unfishable this year.
Well, you also tried to go out there on low
on
tide.
grass.
Yeah, but still, but it wasn't like that last year. Last year you could get out there on a low
No, you
tide and
couldn't.
sure you could.
It's
You had
different.
to where you
It's
sat down.
definitely different.
Where
There's
you sat
definitely more
down, like
silt.
I couldn't get through on a trolling motor last year either. You were
Well, I had-
like right on top of the hump.
Oh,
I mean I was able to get through if you go like the way you should go is like go up and around, because there's a big hump out there that's always been super shallow. If you go around that, but there wasn't as much grass out there as there was last year either. So there was plenty of grass like over toward the bank, but it didn't come over toward the channel like it did last year.
It also was almost exclusively hydrilla. There was not much
not a lot of
milfoil or eel.
Last year there was a ton of eelgrass in there too.
Yeah.
So
So
there was a mixture. There was a healthy mixture, like in a lot of places.
and this year it was all hydrilla with some eelgrass, like coming up through the hydrilla.
Mm-hmm.
Last year you'd have like a patch of eelgrass, patch of hydrilla,
Right.
A couple sprigs of milfoil. There wasn't a ton of milfoil in there last year, but there was a little bit. But now it's like solid hydrilla from like the canal mouth to that little creek up there on the point.
Yep.
Like just solid hydrilla.
And that's hard to fish.
Like you can't even get through it.
Yeah. And that's very difficult to fish that stuff.
it's very thick.
It's super.
I mean, if you're either frogging or you're not fishing it. And
Yeah,
we were
there's
just talking about
Exactly.
there was no other way to fish.
and we were just talking about how the gunpowder or topwater this year has been shitty.
Topwater's been shitty for many years, in my opinion, in the gunpowder.
was pretty-
I mean, like,
I don't know. It was pretty banging last year.
I'm not saying it was bad last year, but I'm saying like years prior, it was insane. There
2
was
years
a
ago
year.
was
There was a
fantastic.
year fishing in the gunpowder where I didn't fish anything but topwater, walking baits, frogs, wake baits, anything, and just getting absolutely slammed. It was an entire season of just endless days of fishing, catching them on topwater, and then it was literally like we tried to go out and repeat the same pattern like next year in the same exact spots on the same exact tides, and could not buy.
Sometimes it just be like that though. Like you'll get on like this. So, a couple like 2-3 years ago, like I didn't throw anything but a chatterbait for like 3 months. Like literally like 3 months. That was the only bait that I threw. Like I'd have 2 rods on my deck. It'd be a black chatterbait and a white chatterbait. Like that was it. And just smash them constantly. This up on the flats. And you try to do that. Like I tried to do that the next year, and like last year, I barely caught a fish on a chatterbait. Mm-hmm. So what? It didn't really
I don't
change.
think I caught any bass on a chatterbait this year.
Now this year they, I caught fish on chatterbait again. I've caught some big fish on chatterbait. The Thursday nighter that me and Candace won, that we ran up to the flats, we caught all our fish on chatterbaits. Mm. That's a lie. I caught one on a spinnerbait.
You're fishing a tournament on Sunday, right?
Yeah, the championship on Conowingo.
So Tommy Walker is a good family friend of ours, and so Tommy, and I believe this is his son talking to us. Tommy fished Loch Raven a lot back in the day in tournaments. Buckland, I'm pretty sure Buckland knows Tommy. I know that Tommy knows Buckland. Tommy used to maybe fish with Rocky back in the day. If you know the name, I don't know. Because we're obviously not super keen on the reservoir guys compared to out here on the tidal waters, but
I know one.
no one.
I know one.
We know Chad Buckland.
Right.
Actually, I know 2. My buddy Steve used to fish a lot of the reservoir tournaments.
But he was an absolute hammer out there on the reservoirs, and actually somebody that I would love to have come on the podcast one day and talk about some of the reservoir fishing, because I mean he's been around doing
Speaking
it
of
for a
him,
while.
did you fish the last Conowingo tournament?
No, we didn't fish it.
You didn't fish it. So my buddy Steve ended up second. He's fished Conowingo 4 times.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
He calls up Frank one day and he's like, "You know anything about
What's
this
up,
like
Zach?"
Conowingo reservoir?" And Frank's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you take a bass back there? Is it shallow?" He's like, "No, they have tournaments there all the time." He's like, "Oh." So I went out and practiced one day. Fished the second to last tour, like the 2 tournaments ago,
The 14th.
and did well. I think he got fourth or fifth or something like that, and then fished the next tournament. It got second. He's fished it 4 times. In
All
his life.
smallmouth.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's wild.
Steve Allender, good dude, super nice dude. But yeah, he fished the reservoir. So he had a reservoir rig, fished a lot of the reservoir tournaments.
Well, the reservoirs kind of translate a little bit better to Conowingo than they do to
Probably,
the flats. So a lot of stuff that you can do there makes a lot of sense on the up on the lake.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. It made sense to me why he would do well there.
I would love to go fish the
If
reservoirs
he's
again.
used to fishing like Pretty Boy and
Right.
and stuff like that.
I would like to go fish the reservoirs again after spending a lot of time up on the lake. Because there's a lot of stuff that I never did there that I would like to do now.
I would like to fish the reservoirs. However, only if I was with somebody who had one of those really expensive motors. Because I feel like going 6 miles an hour to whatever spot you're going to would get old really fast.
It does. It does. Trust me, it does.
It's like, oh, I want to fish. I want to fish to that point over there. Okay, let's take 30 minutes to get over there.
Yeah. It definitely limits your fishing. It totally limits your fishing. Which I think that's kind of a cool aspect.
Now, if we could go like
like
25, 30 miles an hour.
Well, you could.
Right.
If you have Craig Gordon's boat.
I wish they did
Pure
some
watercraft.
I wish they did some
Or
shit
Vince's.
like that with the Elite Series or something.
What's that?
Just like completely limited your horsepower, your like, so guys can't just be running like absurdly far. Like you have to fish in the confinement of.
So up until the early 2000s, they were limited to 150s.
Yeah, I think that's great, honestly.
The problem is the boats got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes,
and,
right.
And it also becomes a safety issue.
Oh yeah,
Because
I don't want an 18-foot boat on this.
Go
Great
look
Lakes.
up I think it was the 99 top
Okay,
150.
so hold some tournaments in different areas then.
I'm just an example. I think
Right.
it was 99. I think it was 99. It was on the St. Lawrence River, and Clark Wendlett's running 8-footers in an 18.5-foot boat with a 150.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
That's scary.
That sounds horrible on any bass boat. An 18-footer. That's
Oh, you
just
look at
dumb.
Matt Robertson last year on the St. Lawrence. Like the look on his face when he got off that boat, he legitimately thought he was going to die. I mean, if you look at his boat when he came in, like he had so many weight, it ripped his wrap off. Like his wrap was in tatters, like hanging off the side of his boat.
Yeah, I just don't need to fish when it's like that. Like I just don't need to
There's
fish.
just
in that.
no reason for it.
No,
No,
I mean, or like Corey Johnson this year, he's fishing in 6 to 8 footers,
Is that the whole
getting
buzzard?
getting seasick, puking over the side of his boat. Though he
well, that
out-
was because he was staring at the live scope, getting like it was messing him up. Which, yeah,
yeah, puked over. He's like,
Oh, another.
I think I'm gonna
negative
puke.
reason to have livestock. Now you can't even see the fish because you're like.
yeah. Like I don't need to fish when it's like that. Like
You're
I'm
all
sorry.
sea drunk.
well, I mean, it's different for them too,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
when you're, I mean, that's your living,
So we talk about the St. Lawrence next year. It's not on the schedule for.
No, it's not.
It was pretty interesting. Why?
Let's
I mean,
pull up the schedule. Let's talk about that.
yeah, we should.
Okay,
talk
so the
about
St.
that.
Lawrence River's been getting absolutely hammered, and they're starting to see the effects.
I have heard that too.
What effects? Because
Well-
the weights keep going up and up and up and up and up.
There's a who did
They're starting to see the effects
Well, last
of
week-
all these tournaments happening, and you're taking from fish from one place and moving thousands of them up to another place.
Well, last week Steve said that he knows a guide or something up there, and the guy was saying like the pressure's starting to
Exactly.
move fish around. And stuff like
exactly.
that.
Well, the pressure definitely starts to move fish around, but they're starting to get conditioned to live scope too.
It is not fishing
Where
the
they get-
same as it has in previous years, stated from guys that live up there. It's very different now. Not as good.
So what do you?
I don't know. It took the Thousand Islands Open last weekend took 62 pounds for 2 days to win.
So let's just say, like
62
3 weeks ago
pounds.
when they were up there, like fishing is like, this is the time of year you should be up there absolutely like slaughtering smallmouth. And it's
That's
just,
pretty much all year.
Well, the
it
conditions
was a freaking struggle.
the conditions are bad too. The water's really low, and it's a lot warmer. Al Fiorelli's been up there for the last month, and he said the water's super, super low, and it's a lot warmer than it usually is this time of year. So that doesn't help either. So there's a lot of factors that go into that as well.
that place is like smallmouth Disneyland. So much fun.
It is.
Upper Conowingo.
No,
Yeah, no.
there's like one tournament a year that one bag on Conowingo will get you like 20th place on the St. Lawrence.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably get
It
you like
won't even get
30th.
you in the top 50.
Yeah, I think the biggest bag
If you
I've
catch a
ever
20-pound bag, like a 20-pound bag, depending on what time of year you're up there, obviously. But
We've seen that happen.
they had like, I think the Elite Series, like the first day of the Elite Series, they had like 57 bags over 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. So like 20 pounds is not even getting you in the top 50, which is fucking insane.
It's also like the other thing is people don't realize. That's why when you go to like a Highland Reservoir and stuff, a 5-pound, 6-pound smallmouth is so much more likely on any reservoir than it is on Conowingo, and the reason for that is predominantly is because the Susquehanna strain. I don't know if that's even like technically a thing, but the Susquehanna strain of smallmouth just doesn't get that big. It's like the Ohio River strain smallmouth; they don't get that big.
That's why you don't get same reason. Or I've been told that's the reason you don't get big smallmouth in Deep Creek.
Right. Yep.
You know, because those fish were
plenty of bait
from the Ohio when they were stocked in there. So like those genetics just don't really equate to bigger fish.
Right. I feel like that's the same thing with the Susquehanna. I mean, that's why like what was the
what's with the Susquehanna? Like if you go right above Conowingo, you would think it would be the same, right? Mm-hmm. Go not too far above Conowingo, and it's 4-pounders in the springtime are common,
right?
Like that's like,
but you don't see
catching like
sixes.
a 3-pound average.
But the 6s aren't prevalent. I mean, because realistically, like the Susquehanna,
but 6s aren't really prevalent anywhere, like outside of the like, when you get into like New York, because gobies.
Right.
Like,
I think the gobies have a lot to do with it, but I also think like a lot of like your lake smallmouth are just different strains of smallmouth.
Why can't we stop gobies?
Because they're terrible for the environment.
Why are they terrible for the environment?
Because they
don't do anything.
The reason why it works up there is because the river's so big.
Shit.
No,
They eat fish eggs.
They eat eggs. They'll murder a bed. Like if you up there.
That's why you can't fish for them.
Why is the fishery so successful up on?
Because you can't fish for them during the spawn. You can't pull them off there. By the time,
why is the smallmouth fishing so good up there? Then?
Because you can't pull them off. Because you can't fish for them during the spawn.
Yeah.
For
the tail end.
You catch the tail end of the spawn, but you can't fish up there until July.
So they're on their beds to protect them from the gobies.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
And then the other part of it is it's kind of like a catch-22. Like the gobies are bad for them, but the gobies are so high in protein, so they're growing a lot faster.
Why can't they should be able to eat the gobies though?
They do.
Yeah.
They hammer the gobies.
Yeah.
They hammer them, but the gobies breed so quickly. It's crazy. So let's look at this 2025 schedule for BASS.
Sure.
Let's check it out.
I would love to fish
pull it up?
BFL as a co-op on the St. Lawrence one time. We should do that. We should all jump in a BFL as co-anglers up there and just see what happens.
No, I'm good. I'll jump in as a boater.
I would not want to jump in as
Why
a boater.
don't we just jump in as a boater?
Because it's so humongous.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd learn more.
Stay close to the ramp.
Yeah, you could.
The whole river is loaded with fish. Like it's not like if you stayed close to the ramp, it's not like you got
about
like
the Elite Series for
that's the
2025?
one. Yeah.
Here we go.
So we're starting out February on the St. John's Spawn Tournament. That could be a good one. As we've talked about before with Florida strain largemouth, weather can play a big role in that. Not really going to be, not live scope's probably not going to be much of a factor there. Maybe perspective mode, looking for beds or something like that.
That's a super quick turnaround from tournament 1 to tournament 2. Very quick turnaround.
Yeah, 2 weeks or
4 days.
No, 23rd to 27th. Oh, 4 days. Yeah, so back-to-back weeks.
That's very, very quick.
They do that a lot. They've been doing that, especially in like places like Florida, where people have to travel so far. So that way they're just there for 2 weeks and then they can go.
I think
go home.
Like the St. John's, the Okeechobee is like a 5-hour drive.
So the Classic is in Fort Worth this year.
Yes, on Ray Roberts. So
Nice.
So then we go to Okeechobee on the 27th. Again, probably not going to be super live scopy.
Yeah.
Spawn tournament. Then you have the Classic on Ray Roberts. That one could be fun. Ray Roberts is kind of a cool lake.
I've never fished it. Obviously, I've never even heard of it really.
That is where Hank Cherry won his second Classic.
Okay. What was the first one? That was Hartwell, right?
Gunnersville.
Okay. I thought he won one on Hartwell.
No, he won Gunnersville. He went on Gunnersville throwing a jerkbait, and he went on Ray Roberts throwing a jerkbait.
That's awesome.
The last time they were Ray Roberts though, that was the one where the one college dude was throwing the big rat in the bushes. You remember that?
Kind of, yeah.
He was throwing I remember Chad flipping out about it.
No.
Do you remember that?
Now, what was it?
Where the last time they were at Ray Roberts, it was like a summertime tournament. It was the COVID year. It was 2020. And the college kid was throwing the big rat in the bushes.
No, I don't remember that.
He was throwing a big rat in the bushes. It was pretty cool.
I like that. I
Like
like big giant rats.
He was throwing a great big rat, throwing it in the bushes. Like, it was pretty crazy.
Big baits, big fish.
So from the classic in April, we go to the Albemarle. I can't say that.
Albemarle Sound.
Albemarle Sound. So
that'd be a fun tournament.
That's a Chowan River area. We saw BPT was there this year. They caught a lot of fish, and they caught some good ones down there. So that could be a good tournament.
That's a weird.
Texas this year.
That place is like tidal, but not really, too.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing.
But again, that's another one where, if
Shallow
we notice
water.
a trend, live scope not a big deal.
Man, who knows how any of these lakes and rivers in freaking North Carolina and South Carolina are going to look after this hurricane?
Oh, Hartwell got hit pretty hard too. They moved the Open from Hartwell to Smith or Lake Martin in Alabama. So Hartwell, April, that again,
Spawn tournament.
Live scope. Is live scope going to play some? Yeah, but
You may even have a handful of post spawners by that point.
that's going to be more of a spawn tournament though. Like, I mean, that's going to be a lot of sight fishing. There's going to be a lot of fish on the bank.
fishing docks.
Yeah, skipping docks, stuff like that. So, then you go to Lake Fork in May.
That seems live scopy.
No, that's going to be a lot of big swim baits, topwater, a lot of bluegill spawn, gizzard shad spawn. That's about the same time of year that Lee Livesey caught that like 42-pound bag.
Yeah.
On a Zaraspook and a couple of big swim baits. Then you go to the Sabine again.
Isn't that like a lot of small fish in that place?
Yeah, tough fishery, long runs. So that's another one that's going to be.
I don't understand
Kinda
why
crazy.
any body of water in Texas, Florida, or Louisiana would have small fish.
It's a tidal system, and that probably has a lot to do with it.
Are they not Florida strain?
No,
They're not.
yeah, they're not Florida strain.
So Florida strain just like not handle tidal.
No, they handle tidal. They're just not. They
not in
were
there.
just never stocked in there.
Okay.
Can you pull that list back up? And then we go to from the Sabine we go to 10 killer. That's going to be a scoping tournament, 100%. 10 killer's cool lake though, largemouth and smallmouth. You probably see some mixed bags in there. Last time they were on 10 killer, Carl Jakobsen won. Then you go to St. Clair. St. Clair's a fun. That's always going to be a fun place, especially in the summertime.
There could be some frogging going on there.
You could have a good largemouth bite there. I have a feeling though, like it's the largemouth. The largemouth never hold up there, or rarely hold up. Ish did really well 1 year in a tournament up there on largemouth. I think he made the top 10, but
What's he been fishing recently?
the opens.
Did he just not qualify for elites, or did he go Bass
He's
Pro?
he's close. He fished the BPT. He quit the BPT because basically
sucks.
they were assholes. He said he didn't like where it was going,
and now he has to re-qualify. Gotcha.
So I'll tell you here in a second what place he's in. He's close. I think he has. I think he.
Prepared for the next power outage with a Champion portable power station.
Oh, that's my phone.
What
is
Champion Power Portable Power Peter Player pick a pepper.
Shut up. So Ish is in. Let me see here. That's not what I wanted to look at.
Oh, because that's right. The opens aren't over yet.
Anglers, AOI standings. There's one left. Opens EQ. He's in 14th.
Will they take top 10?
Top 9, I believe.
Why 9 and not 10?
I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
So he's got a chance. He's pretty far back. He's 91 points back. So
Wow.
I mean, he's still got a chance, but it's an outside chance.
So he's back in purgatory.
Yeah, but he's doing okay for himself, and
Right.
his sponsors are behind him. So that man works harder for his sponsors than like anyone in fishing. So
I have heard that multiple times.
and he's a cool dude, funny, so funny.
Where
So
is,
speaking of
where's Keith Pochet in the points?
he's not fishing. He's back on BPT.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah, he quit. Because he got mad when they disqualified him. So from Lake St. Clair, then they go to the lacrosse, which will be a frog fest, which will
Yeah.
be great. So that'll be fun to watch.
And maybe Andy from Team Marine will be there.
So, just to throw a couple names out there, since I have the EQ qualifiers up there, a couple people that are looking like they might qualify for the elites next year. Maybe some familiar names. Cody Meyer,
Okay.
sitting in 2nd right now. Dakota Ebear is in 7th. Tucker Smith. If you remember, Tucker Smith was Logan Park's partner
Yes.
when they won that $1 million tournament.
Yep.
He's in 3rd. Emil Wagner. That's an old FLW guy. And then in 10th, just outside of it, you have Bo Browning. That's Stephen Browning's son. Garrett Paquette is in 12th. Former Elite Series guy.
Yeah.
Pretty cool dude. And then that's about it.
What about?
I do have to throw this one out there. Kenta Kimura is in 23rd because that man fishes every tournament in existence. He fishes the Elite Series. He's on the Elite Series. He fishes all 9 opens every year.
What's
Like
up, Dale?
that man is a fishing machine.
what about? More importantly, what elites are not making it back on next year?
Ooh. Do we want to look at the Angler of the Year? Let's look.
So
it
what's
should
the
be like
cutoff?
9.
Like how many?
Nine.
It's Chloe. You stay down.
So it's hard to look because because of the way that they do it.
Damn it, Chloe. Beer.
So because of the way that they
Get beer.
because of the way that they do it, it's an average over over their career or something, or how long they've been in the in the Elite Series. So what's up, Dale? Tony's going to Conowingo. So I can't, you can't like look at the Angler of the Year series and guess, but I can tell you 2 people who are going to be fishing the Elite Series next year:
Who?
Randy Howe
Yes, for Legends Invitation. Yep.
and Cliff Pace.
Was he Legends as well?
Yep,
Nice.
because he classic winner.
So
And Cliff actually he left BPT a couple 2 years ago and fished the Opens this year. So he left BPT last year, and fished the Opens this year, and then was from the looks of it now, looks like he was just waiting for that Legends exemption to open up.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool. Cliff Pace is pretty neat. Randy Howe's funny. I like Randy Howe.
is Matt Robertson? Did he make it?
I don't know. And like I said, you can't tell because they do an average over like their career, or
Yeah.
they do some like funky.
What about
mathematics on it.
Milliken?
Well, Milliken was like 23rd in points this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He smashed them this year.
Cool.
He had like one really bad tournament, and then the rest of them he did pretty well. No, he qualified for the Classic. That we can look at. We can look at the Classic qualifiers. Our local hero Brian Schmidt. He snuck into the Classic like in the last spot.
I know at one point Robertson was
Thanks to some-
last in the points.
He was not this year because Clinton Davis was last.
What's up, brother?
So he ended up, let's see. We
We got JCS Marine Adam in the house. Come on.
So he had Matt Robertson had must have had a pretty decent run at the end of the year. He ended up 78th this year
Okay.
out of
Dan,
out
it's
of
coming
103.
along very well.
The shocker this year was Joey Cifuentes. Won 2 Elite Series tournaments last year. Started off like his rookie year on the Elite Series, like on fire. Well, I think he was top 10 in points, like chance of being Angler of the Year and Rookie of the Year. He was 96th in points this year.
Damn. Where did Scott Martin finish this year?
92nd. His name actually was right there.
Wow. Wow. The only thing I really remember
it's
from
funny
him
because-
was the Open on Okeechobee that he smashed him.
It's really funny because you look at like Ed Locker and won Champlain.
Hey, what's up, Martin?
He was, but it was still 94th in points. Sorry, 95th. Let's see if it
Wow.
shows. Let's see if it.
They don't have drops on the elites, I'm assuming, right?
No.
Okay.
Swindle 88th, John Cruz 87th,
Swindle's gonna retire and become the
Scott-
modern Bill Dance, I think.
Scott Canterbury 86th, Bill Lowen 84th, Steve Kennedy 83rd, Matt Robertson 78th, Mark Menendez 75th, Clark Wendlandt 73rd.
Who are the top 10 this year?
Corey Johnson, Chris Johnson, Trey McKinney, Corey Johnson, Jacob Faust, Justin Hamner, Cody Huff, Jay Shakurit, John Garrett, Jordan Lee, and Wesley Gore.
How many of
Jordan
those
Lee.
guys had a win?
Trey McKinney, Corey Johnson had 2 wins. Jacob Faust did not win. Hamner won the Classic, but that doesn't count for points. Cody Huff didn't have a win. Shakurit didn't have a win. I think Shakurit won like an Open or something maybe. But John Garrett had a win. He won on St. John's. Fishing offshore like Tennessee River stuff.
I remember that.
big hair jigs and stuff.
Yeah.
Wesley Gore didn't have. I know Wesley Gore didn't have a win. Tyler Williams was 11th. Patrick Walters, shocker, 12th.
Right.
That dude's a beast. Chris Zaldane was 14th this year. It's a big. I mean, it's a big jump up. I mean, he was didn't do very well last year.
Is he running Skeeter or no?
No,
He's running
runs
Nitro
a
now. Okay.
Yeah, he's been with Nitro.
It was like a very quiet transition.
It was when he switched. He switched to them when he dropped Megabass. When he moved away from Megabass.
And now he's with Berkeley.
No. Worse.
Guggen. Is it actually?
Bass Mafia, but yeah, same thing.
Is Bass Mafia and Guggen connected at all?
Yeah, they're the same. Guggen owns Bass Mafia.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really? Wow.
They bought Bass Mafia. Are you drawing pictures on the screen now? Are you
Chad's
bored?
drawing things. What's he drawing?
I didn't know we could do this.
Well, there you have
I'm
it.
surprised the first thing he drew wasn't a penis.
Yes.
I thought about it, and now I'm okay. Here we go.
Now that's like ovaries and a uterus.
No, it's just got a third ball. That's all.
Why are they
That's
so
like-
far apart?
No,
Why are
that's
his
like-
balls so
that's
far
like-
apart?
that's
And
like
why
the
does he have it
fupa.
chode?
That's the fupa.
Like only the head of his wiener sticks out
What's
from
it
his
cold outside? Damn.
It is actually awesome.
Tyler, he's circling the Guggens.
That is actually awesome that we can do that.
I had no idea that Guggen owned.
That's the new John Madden.
The new John Madden.
Tyler, when are you going down to the Pocomoke, Tyler?
This is Paul right here. That's
Oh,
Paul.
dude.
Hi, everybody.
I would like to talk about that a
This
little bit, actually.
is Tony right here. Hi, this is Tony.
Cifuentes was at the Ravens game last Thursday.
Bass right here.
It's kind of cool.
My name is Joe.
Oh,
Okay,
Tony,
yeah,
how's the bullet coming along?
That's pretty cool.
It is going. It's coming along pretty good, actually. They have the pictures that I got from them a couple days ago. They got the subfloor in. John actually texted
Tyler, I'll
me.
see you. I'll see you down there. I'm going down on Sunday.
John texted me
The Sunday before.
a day or two ago and said that they are getting ready to start doing a base layer of gel coat just to have something that the wrap sticks to. Let me see when he sent that.
Did you decide on a wrap?
I did. I'm actually going to go with a black wrap because I think it looks a little bit cleaner. It's not as noisy.
Should have done that dark camo was like sick.
I did like that. It was
sick.
You talking about like the dark with like the little bit of gray in it, like that ghost?
Yeah, it was like a ghost camo.
Oh, actually, sorry. I got an update today. I didn't see it yet. This is pretty cool. So the top cap is back on the bullet.
Oh, crap. We
Yep.
have like a complete boat.
We have a complete boat.
Kind of.
So the top cap is back on. Still have some glass work on the cap to do, and then gel coat.
Shit.
That's badass.
I'm not gonna lie. One day I had a nightmare that I was gonna have to get in your boat and make a video.
You're going to? What are you talking about?
I know it's gonna come true. That's the nightmare. That's the problem.
It's like
That boat is so damn fast, and you don't even know how to fucking drive it yet.
No, screw that. We got GoPros. We'll just strap a GoPro to that thing and be like, Tony, have at it.
You know what? That's probably a really great idea.
I mean, we'll just put your GoPro like on the front, like facing Tony, and we'll put mine like on the motor facing forward.
It's going to be insane.
Oh, there you go. She's coming to life. Yeah, Adam on there.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain. Wow. Yeah, he actually sent me this text today, and I was out there leaning on a bunch of fish on Conowingo, so I didn't realize it, but the top cap is back on.
I heard, Miles.
That's pretty sick.
I heard you caught a Conowingo toad today.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. That's absolutely sick.
Yeah, those don't come around too much.
Give it about 3
I mean, you
weeks.
see them, but... No, I mean, you see them, but it's not like...
And there it is. We knew it was coming, and now he did it.
I like how he did it over top of himself, because he likes the
Because
wiener.
he's the dickhead.
He likes the wiener.
You know what? I didn't know if it was going to work in studio mode.
Oh, that
or
okay.
the other one.
4.74. That's not a 5.
It's pretty
We
damn
can't-
close.
That's not a 5.
It's 5 with the bag.
If it was like, not if they zero the scale correctly.
Yeah, true.
If it was like 4.98, I'd give it to you. That it was a 5. Tony's telling me it's a 5.
That's pretty damn
That's
much.
a 4 3/4.
It's 5 in a week
It's
after
a
it
big
eats a little
fish.
bit more.
It's a big fish.
It's still a big one, but can't claim a 5.
I have yet to catch a 5-pound smallmouth on Conowingo.
I can't remember if I have or not. I've caught a couple 5-pound largemouth up there.
I've caught some big 4-pounders, but I've never caught a 5.
Hey, I've caught a lot of 4-pounders up there. I don't know if I've caught a 5 up there. No, I don't think I have. I've caught 5s on the Upper Bay.
Tell you what, I didn't catch a single fish on Conowingo today that wasn't fat.
Yeah.
They're not like bulbous yet, but they're all fat. They're all stout, stocky fish. They're definitely, the feed bags are starting. It's almost on fire. And I will tell you right now.
Should we go to a Conowingo map?
Sure. Let's go to a Connor Winger map. Let me go take a leak. I'm going to tell everyone where Miles caught his 5-pounder.
Yes, tell us all. I will circle it with my draw now. You know what? I'm pumped to have this now when we talk about waterways in different places. I can actually
My John Madden impersonation is coming out.
You should pull up. I don't know if my Navionics subscription is still valid.
Where the hell is maps at?
Try going to go to Navionics.com. Then we can pull up the topo maps, and you can see you know what I mean, or potentially. With the login. Yeah, go to sign in. Let's see here. Let's see if my stuff's still active here. I may have not renewed it. Keyboard's weird. I like it. It's just not what I'm used to. Oh, you clicked. Password.
Sorry, I didn't want everybody to watch your stuff.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah, the whole Garmin buying Navionics, that threw me for a loop the other day. I totally had like a mini freak out when I didn't Google Navionics chart viewer and it didn't pop up. Let's
see if
go
we
through the
can-
Garmin website now.
You're in.
Yeah. Now, if you go to,
I think you have to go to Marine, and then it's charts and
then-
maps.
Isn't there? Yeah.
Does anyone know how the hell this works?
I haven't used it in a while, so
Is it new charts?
doing updates, updating charts, and booting apps.
Built-in updates? Navionics boating app?
Now, it used to smartwatch.
Chad, can I make
You
a
used
motion?
to be able to go back to the top in the menu. There used to be an option to.
There is. I was on this the other day. I can't remember how to get to it.
Now it's making me mad. We could. There should be an option where we can pull up the.
What about outdoor?
Discover?
No. Damn it! I literally just did this the other day.
Subscriptions, apps, new charts, built in.
Navionics web
Chart
app.
plot?
He said Navionics web app. That's what Tyler said.
That's what we're on.
No, you're on Maps Garmin. Go to Navionics web app. Yeah, he said just do Navionics web app.
I don't use Navionics anymore, so.
Is this it?
No. Damn it. Is that it?
No.
I'm gonna find it. Hold on.
Hit the go to that access.navionics one. Let's see if it. Let's see if it takes us to the same place. It may have changed when Garmin.
It's definitely in a different spot. Like I had to. Okay, maps.garmin.com.
There you go. Just like maps.garmin.com.
This is the same thing.
Fuck. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know. I use Hummingbird Maps now, so. Oh, Navionics web app is gone, Jason says.
Here you go.
Oh,
Tyler posted the.
Tyler's got
post-
a link there.
What a hero. Absolute hero.
You're the man, Tyler.
Tyler, thank you.
Perfect.
God, you
Somebody
savage.
bookmark that. Yeah, see maps.garmin.com.
Yeah, you
God
freaking
damn it.
savage. I did that. I did maps.garmin.com.
Dude, let's go see if there's smallmouth in North Hayes Canyon out there.
Right on where number
What
4
is
is.
this beauty?
That's the Delaware.
Delaware
Bay.
River, it sucks. Don't ever fish there. It actually sucks.
So right where that number 4 is kind of like a.
Canoe no go.
Yeah, when you
Where
zoomed
was
out,
the number
see that
four?
number
Okay,
4.
right
Yeah.
here,
Oh, you did it now.
Oh dear.
Zoomed in.
God.
Zoomed in too fast.
So wait, is this
Just wait. Just wait for it.
this computer should not be moving this.
It's not the computer.
It's the interwebs.
It's the interwebs.
You might have to refresh.
No, just don't refresh. It's loading. Scroll out.
Leave us alone.
Scroll out. No, you're gonna have to wait. You gotta wait for the maps to load.
It cannot be taking this long.
That is a shitty feature that I have noticed about since it went to Garmin
Yeah, it's over there on the edge.
to the right.
It's trying to load all of the maps.
Oh, and map options. Click on that. Now go to sonar chart. Yeah, that's what you want.
Now it's gonna load all of them again.
Yes. I'm so very excited.
Looks like we're gonna have to go back to Google Maps.
You know what?
Shallow shading 6 feet.
Navionics sucks.
No, Garmin sucks. Navionics chart viewer was great. I miss it. Yeah, I was when I
This is
was
not working. Okay.
doing this at the house the other day.
Google
it was
Maps
garbage.
was working so much better.
Yeah, it sucks. Google Maps kind of sucks because you can't see anything. Like you just see water. Like I was hoping we could show like what's under the water.
At least people can see where we're talking about, though.
Because they don't know where Conowingo is, they can Google it.
This isn't working. It has nothing to do with my computer.
No, it's literally because the website is garbage.
Probably. Click that Garmin. See where it says Garmin?
That
No,
one.
no. Go back. which chart plotter is on your boat. Click Garmin. See if it changes.
Did that look like it just worked?
It did. It definitely
Dude.
changed.
Are you serious?
What is happening?
Now change it to.
I'll change it to
It's
sync.
like anything except Garmin, another brand,
Change it.
another brand, anything except Garmin doesn't work.
Change the chart type to fishing. Under your map options there.
Wait, what?
Right there. It says fishing.
Chart type.
Oh, dope.
That looks worse.
Scroll it. Go. You have
Hartford
to. You have
County.
to
So
zoom in.
here's
Oh,
the
dear.
dam right here, right?
No,
No, that's.
that's just, I don't know what, that's the power lines.
Well, you're up
Yeah.
to Lancaster County. Where's the dam at?
Down.
Which
This
dam
is
are we
Hartford
talking
County.
about?
Yeah.
We're talking about,
Conowingo.
The
Yeah.
dam's in Hartford County. It's down farther. Keep
Yep,
going.
there's a Pennsylvania line. You're right. Right here.
Down there where it says Conowingo Dam.
dude, it
No,
has
it's not. That's not it.
it has the old, it even has the old bridge marked on there. That's kind of neat.
That's interesting.
What old bridge?
That's interesting. It does.
The
have-
one in front of Broad Creek that nobody knows about that I probably shouldn't have said anything about.
Go
you
back
know,
up
you
to
know
Broad
it.
Creek.
You know it. Not 5 hole, sorry. That one. See it right there where it says Hartford Co.
Oh, that's not. No, I don't know if that's the bridge or if that's the.
It is.
the lines that go. There's lines that go across there too, like under the water.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
So it could be. It could be the bridge, but it could be.
It looks, that's right where the bridge, it's that general area for the bridge at
Oh
least.
yeah, it's right there. Yeah, so if you zoom in farther, you'll get more detailed.
What should,
More detailed contours.
what's the furthest back anyone's ever gone in Broad Creek? Let someone let us know. I'm just curious.
As far back as you can possibly go.
I've gone back super far, and I've never really done a whole lot back there.
I've been all the way back to where it riffles out of the Boy
The
Scout
dam?
camp. Yeah.
You ever catch them back there?
No, it was years ago, and it wasn't in a boat. It was in a canoe.
I would like to duck hunt that Lake Aaron Strauss right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Boy Scouts would not
Like
appreciate it.
where? Oh, okay, right here.
Yeah, Broad Creek actually goes all the way back to that, and
Yeah,
it's fairly deep too.
Cross.
There was the last time I was way back in there, like by the cabin. There was a tree across, so you couldn't go any further.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I mean, still pretty far back in there.
All right. So where did Miles catch the smallmouth?
In the lake?
Somewhere in that vicinity. Scroll out. Scroll
Somewhere
out.
from
Yeah, somewhere that you can see right now.
Yeah.
somewhere from
It was actually in lake.
here to there.
So we
That's where it was caught.
we locked out and
that
went into
area.
Lake Aaron Strauss. That's where he caught it.
Yes.
He caught it over there in
There was a 5-pound smallmouth caught
caught it over in
in
Octorara.
this area or right there. There's a 5-pound smallmouth in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 5-pound smallmouth in there because you went below the dam. And there's a lot of 5-pound
Yeah,
smallmouth
bigger,
below the dam.
bigger smallmouth. Definitely bigger smallmouth below the dam for sure. I want to know, like, I've heard that I've started to hear a little bit here and there about guys fishing the lake above Holtwood, and I've heard that there's some hammers in there.
Yeah, it's super shallow though.
Is it?
Yeah.
And that,
Like,
I've
that's-
also heard
that's
you
a-
better know
that's
how
a jet,
to get.
That's a jet boat lake.
Is it?
Yeah. The next lake up though, I think you can fish.
That's Clark, right?
I can't remember what it is.
That one's got a lot of grass in it.
Aldridge right above Conowingo, and then the next one up, I'm pretty sure you can bass boat. But again, you got to know where you're going. I know right up above Harrisburg, or right around Harrisburg, or not Harrisburg, but like just below Columbia. Like I've seen bass boats out there, like
Yeah.
bass boats.
Doesn't sound like anything I want to do.
Are you looking at the Delaware?
Yeah.
Hey, there's a good place.
Why does it have so much more forest around it?
It's marsh.
It's marshland.
Nice.
Here's a question. Do we ever think that, like, if you zoom out, Chad, a little bit and go to the right, those creeks, not Swan, but like Fairleigh, Wharton, Still Pond, Pond Creek, are those creeks ever going to come back?
Nope.
Are you being facetious? I actually don't.
No, I just don't want to drive my boat over there.
I don't
Here's
think.
Farley, what is a still pond right up here?
Yeah. I don't think. Now, if you go up a little bit.
Yeah, this still pond right here.
I've fished in Still Pond before. It's beautiful back there.
So all the big boats hang out like up in here, and then where do you go back in here?
Anywhere. I mean,
I've
yeah.
actually caught
Fishing.
fish. See where the little cut through is? down there.
That's in Churn Creek. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So just like on the backside of that little cut through, like back in there, I've caught fish in there before.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't
Not,
think
not a whole lot. Like
Pretty
two,
shallow.
like 2 or 3. There's some wood back there.
It seems like it's all pretty shallow back in here.
Well, you also can't really trust like Navionics either because it also says the whole flats are a foot deep.
it is pretty shallow
And
getting
there's,
around back
like
there.
9-foot areas out there.
Now look at that little pond. If you go above Still Pond, yeah, you can actually get into that.
No, you can't.
No, not that one. I'm sorry. Go up towards. It's above the Sassafras. I'm sorry. That's the Sassafras. Go up.
Pond
that
Creek?
Pierce Creek.
Pond
Pierce,
Creek.
Not Pond,
Pond
Creek.
Creek?
Pierce.
Pond Creek.
You can get into
into
Pond Creek. But you can get into Pierce Creek.
I don't think you can get into Pierce Creek.
See the water?
That's the one right behind. That's the one.
He
Right,
says, "Do you see the water?"
No,
that's the one. That's right behind the boat ramp.
Yeah.
You can't get into that.
There is an inlet. I've actually seen it. I've never tried to get in there, but there is an inlet. Like on a tide, I think you could get in. Like
I don't think you can get. I don't think you can get in back once you get past.
You don't think you could go through right?
I don't think you
it's
can.
not there.
You probably could in a John boat, and there's a boat ramp right there. So if anybody could find out, you could. You could go.
It's
re-
literally
Just
where
going
your
into
cursor
the
is.
marsh?
Let me see the map. Let me see the.
You could recon for us.
Let me see the mouse. I'll show you.
Want to drive the John boat over there one day?
So it's the inlet is like right in here, and then it dumps out.
Oh, you definitely can't get into that one. If you can get into anyone, it would be the one farther south.
This one.
No, yeah, that one.
I've seen them. I'm telling you, like when I fished the elk, the one time I fished it, we were over here, and I was like, man, it looks like you can get in there.
You definitely can't get in there. That's right by Crystal Beach.
Yeah.
Crystal Beach is that little marina right there.
Which
That one
we're
right
not
there.
going to talk about that one.
And who cares?
Some gigantors in there.
Not anymore.
Really?
No, it's not. Crystal Beach hasn't been shit in the last few years.
There's
This is way north of us too, right?
I've gotten
not
into
way north.
I've
This is
gotten
like
into this pond before. On
a
the
little north
Sassafras.
and across the bay.
I've gotten into this pond before in the Sassafras.
that
Wait
my
a
area
minute. Wait a
over
minute.
here?
What did Tyler?
I don't know.
Tyler
I've
just
been drinking
said.
it though.
Tyler said this pond is loaded. Tyler, are we talking? Are we? How do I do this, Chad? Are we talking? Damn it. Are we talking this pond right here? Is that what you're talking? Because I want to know how the hell to get in there.
No, this one was yours because it was still cold.
Gross. Well, it's yours
It's
now.
empty now. I just drank your backwash.
The one by Crystal Beach. So
I'll take one though.
Tyler, is that the one circled?
Yes, that's
How do
Crystal
you
Beach.
get-
Right, that's Crystal Beach right there.
How do you get in? How?
You can't get in from the bay.
He just said it was loaded.
But you can't get in from the bay.
So how do you get in?
You can. There's like a little launch back there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. That's interesting.
I promise
you
you,
were
if you could get in it, we would have been in it already.
I got into this. I've gotten into that
Well, that's Crystal
that
Beach.
thing before.
That's Crystal
but
Beach.
this back here.
Everybody's been in Crystal Beach.
Okay, so Tyler did confirm.
Is
there's
that
a
where
boat launch.
Jellyfish Joel's is?
No,
Where's Jellyfish Joel's?
I have no idea.
Jellyfish Joel's? All right, but look, go in the Sassafras. Go to the right. Go to the right. Now zoom in on Turner Creek. There's a pond. See it up there? Pond's Bar.
Yeah, you can get in it on high tide.
Dude,
Here?
no.
No, go. It's up at the top of
Pond's
the screen
Bar.
right there.
Okay, yeah.
Dude,
Whoopsie.
that was pretty cool in there.
Yeah, you can get in there on high tide, but you have to like get in and get out
Up in
because you
here.
will get stuck.
There is some deep water in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I got in it, but dude, the water rushes in and out. Like it was
Yeah.
very hard to get in, and I didn't like it. Like I got really nervous because the tide was going out. I'm like, I don't want to be in here. Cool place though, super cool place.
Bob Schaefer's.
Bob Schaefer says Jellyfish Joel's is in Fairleigh Creek.
Okay, I got you.
Damn, Chad, you really are like the John Madden of fishing. You know
Chad-
what they say about Ordinary Point, right?
Chad loves this now.
It's pretty ordinary.
This does not exist.
Never go there. There's nothing there.
I hate the Sass anyway.
Why haven't we been using this longer?
I fished it a little bit this year, and I started to catch a couple in it. But my problem with it is it's never getting reloaded. I feel like you're fishing for
Always
so
gets
many
reloaded.
less fish,
It always gets reloaded. Delaware has all their tournaments out of there.
but they're staying in the Sass. They're not. Most of them guys aren't leaving the Sass.
All of them leave the Sass.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
They all go to the flats.
Well,
You should have seen the boat race to the flats when I fished that tournament, that Delaware tournament this year.
Was that the one out of Turner's? Mm-hmm. Everyone went to the flats, really?
Yeah, a couple boats stayed in, obviously, but
Anybody stay and do anything?
not that I know of. I know Roger Shirky won. He was on the flats.
Here's another place that I actually really like fishing, but it's so stinking
Creek.
fucking shallow, dude. It's so hard
Yeah,
to
you
get
said
around.
that changed. You said that changed a lot too.
This is gone. This is completely. This is completely covered. Like there's no water here anymore. None.
Wonder why that happened.
So you got to get in here now. Which
It used to. I mean, the water used to roll through.
right. Well, this used to be the deal. This used to be one of the
Right.
spots, and there. I'm telling you, I have a picture.
You know
of
when
it
you
on my
fish I've
phone.
caught off that dock right there?
Yep.
That one right there.
Yep. But yeah, that.
I'm gonna fish off that dock.
Yep. And then, but this is all complete. It's a beach. It's completely. So now it rips through the middle now.
Which
But it-
probably dug that out some too, because they used to
yeah.
be shallow. That in
It's like
between
6
those two
foot
little
in here.
islands there used to be shallow, really shallow.
Yeah, it's like 6-7 foot in here. I mean, I really got turned on to this place from reading the old Bass College articles from like the mid 2000s. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that donk.
Yeah. So don't beseech the name of a donk. By the way, we all love donks, just not that kind of donk. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I
Chad?
was thinking of
Yes.
I was thinking of a donk, like a person who was bad at poker.
Oh. When you say donk, I think about a nice,
Well, see, Tyler knows what's up.
when you say donk, I think of a nice tuchus. This right
That's
here.
a badonkadonk.
Yes, but donk for short. But like
Why not a
anywhere out of here, dude, it's so shallow. Like it's so shallow.
Gat. Gat. I hate that. That's like my
It's like skibbity toilet or some bullshit.
no gat.
this
That's
place-
that's a term for fat ass, apparently.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
That's a thing.
It's a cool river. It's a huge river, and it actually it
I thought
looks
that
like
was
the
like.
Potomac.
I thought that was like Pog or something.
So go
Fat ass
go
white
to
girl.
go to the right.
Uh-huh.
Keep going to the right.
Is this the island? Is
Keep
this,
going to the right. Keep going to the
It's
right.
like a straight up porn term.
Keep going to the right. I have been that far into this ass.
That's pretty far back there.
One plane.
You can
No, you can get on plane right there. Right there where see that green right there. Those last like 3 docks on
Look,
the point.
bro, it gives you some fucking
gotta sit-
algebra.
you gotta
on
sit
this.
down.
H equals 36 feet.
You got to set down right there, but that's way back in there.
I've never gone back that far. I've gone back to Hen Island before, and I never called them back there.
Certain times of the year.
Hey, what's up, Jim?
But the Sass is like, I don't know. To me, it's a cool river. The no wake is absolutely horrendous.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely horrendous. The no wake. So this is Hall Creek. The no wake I think starts
Right about there.
right here, and it goes all the way to here. It does look like a
Just
lot on the
past the
map,
bridge.
but it's a lot.
Oh yeah, it goes right. It goes to that point, right? That point, like that point just above the bridge, like right there.
Yes, like right in here. It's
it's
miserable. It's absolutely terrible.
It takes a while.
And DNR is there because they know it sucks, and they always get
Click
people
scene
for it.
2.
Oh, there you go.
Oh wow.
You weren't showing anything.
That sucks. But yeah, we were looking at, so the no wake in the sassafras starts right here at the mouth of Hall Creek. It actually may be more like up here.
No, it's right there at the mouth of Hall Creek. Yeah.
And then you have to literally idle all the way back to the bridge, and then you can plane out again and get back to where Paul was
Well, no, you have to go
saying.
after the bridge.
Yeah,
It's
you have
the
to
point-
go.
it's the point
past
after the bridge.
It's right here at Cable area, I guess, like
Yeah,
intersection.
right in that area. Yeah.
Yep. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
it's a
get
cool
off on
river though. It's a super cool river, but it fishes very small. For as big as the river is, it fishes extremely small.
It not really.
I think it does.
I mean, you say it fishes small, but like the few times that I fished over there, like I've literally caught fish in so many different, like I fished over there as a co-angler more than as a boater, and caught fish in so, like every time I fished over there, we fished different areas and caught fish.
Right.
So I don't know that it necessarily fishes that small.
I've only fished it a handful of times, and I've this year was the first time I really caught a couple over there. I didn't do great, but I caught a couple. Definitely learned a few things. But we were in the spawn.
Usually when I catch fish over there, they're giant.
Yeah, we did not catch giants over there. We caught good ones.
I've won 2 club tournaments over there, and I won both of them with 2 fish.
Wow. Did you guys launch there?
Yeah, we had to stay in there. Like we couldn't run out or anything.
I mean, there's a handful of guys that fish in our area that know that place exclusively and will always pull big bags out of that place.
The one tournament, I had 2 fish for 10.25 pounds.
There was what was that? There was a tournament.
I caught 2 5-pounders.
What was that last chance tournament in 2022 or whatever? Was one out of the Sass with like 22.5 pounds, and the co-angler had 3 fish for like 15 pounds,
14 or 15.
Yeah. So the boater had 22 and the co had 14.
Co-angler had a 6.5 pounder.
Yeah. And they were all from the Sass.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I'm willing to bet that this fish probably came out of 1 or 2 spots. Mainly because it was in late November. They're probably schooled up.
I know exactly where they came from.
Can we talk about that offline? Because I would like to know that. Because that sounds cool. This is something to...
It's not there anymore, so yeah.
It's not there anymore. Oh, I know what you're talking about then.
So...
Was it something that was removed from the river?
No.
No. Well, never mind then.
Tyler said they were all from one stretch of bank.
Yep. That's pretty wild.
Yep. And I can probably tell you which stretch of bank. But
there's a lot of riprap over. Like a lot of these points here are all like riprap, which in the fall just sounds like super bassy stuff. I don't know. It's a cool river, but like
I didn't get to fish it. I was supposed to fish that one, but when it got rescheduled, I had to drop out.
It's a cool river. I mean, we're pretending like, you know, these massive bass nurseries.
That's where
here.
I want to fish right there.
I'm gonna duck hunt it this year. I'm not gonna fish it.
I wish
you can't fish it. I'm gonna duck hunt the shit out of it.
It's a state record right there.
I don't think there's necessarily a state record in there, but I guarantee you there's some big ones in there.
I think
giants.
Honestly, I think that this is kind of.
I bet there's 4s and 5s all over the place in there.
I think it's a good thing that all this is closed off because it's always going to be a breeding ground for fish.
Yeah, but it's also like the #1 snakehead breeding ground too.
Probably.
Is it?
Especially
yeah,
like
sense.
Suspushi.
Yeah, I got
I
got my APG duck hunting.
I would love to fish in the Susputi Narrows.
Oh my god, like all these little creeks and stuff. Yeah,
I would kill to be able to fish in there
so you actually can get a license to fish it, but you can only fish it from boat.
from the bank.
Yeah, sorry, from the bank. I misspoke. Yep.
Yeah, that's where like Steve Camburus, Cambo trout, fishes there a lot.
Oh, from the bank.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Right behind where we fish, you know where the causeway is, right? That we fish from the boat.
Really?
So, zoom out, go up. So, see where it says entry prohibited?
Hit scene
Yes.
two.
So that's the causeway, right?
Oh,
Scene
okay.
two.
So he fishes the backside of that right there.
So here's Spizzuti, and then
It comes
here's
right up
the
to that
causeway.
riprap. That riprap that's down there that we fish all the time. You know that everybody fishes in the springtime,
Wow.
and
It's
he fishes right behind
incredible
that.
How much
And he
different-
catches giant bass. in it,
Wait, so
too.
Tyler, where's the shipping channel? That looks like it was a little bit further south.
So like you have like Locust Point here.
The shipping
and
channel
this
is
the backside of the Spasuti Narrows. It's amazing how like over here will be like muddy one day and all like churned up, and over here because of this wall will be like crystal clear.
Oh, yeah.
filled with grass.
Because
like, looking
that's all
good.
protected too.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
all
you can't get any
protected,
wind from like
exactly.
any side.
Like all of this is protected.
the shipping
from,
channel's
like,
down there. I think
everything.
a little bit.
Channel up from where the Susquehanna flows into the bay. So that would be where are we at? Right
Where
there.
the Susquehanna flows in the bay.
That
It's
green
up
buoy.
there, isn't it?
Green. See the green and red buoy? No, he's talking about below the flats.
Oh,
Out
yeah,
there.
right there.
I can believe that.
It makes sense. It does make sense.
Just big water.
Just big deep water. 10-pounder out there, just like
There's-
roaming around.
Yeah, but when you're a bass that big, you can eat whatever you want. Like everything in the bay is food.
Yeah,
So,
probably
like,
that whole
these are
that whole
supposed to be
channel right
shipping
there.
channels right here. The
Yeah.
white.
Those are the two channels. That one goes to the northeast. That one goes to Happy Grace.
Have her disgrace.
And then you have the other one down there that goes up to the C and D canal.
Is anyone in our area, not to name,
I
don't
love
name
that we
names or
can
nothing,
do
but
that, like, oh, here's the shipping channel. The shipping channel is
is anyone in our area?
You're having so
right
much fun with that.
here. Yeah, it is. I just think it's cool that we can do that.
They know how
Is
John
anyone
Madden
what?
feels. Does anyone in our area do like consistently fish like the elk or Bohemia in tournaments, or is that like a spring thing and then it's done?
We fished it. We used to have club tournaments on the elk. So we would do we started doing like the sass or the elk, and then we started just doing the elk and launching out of the elk and making the elk and the sass. We launch out of Rogue Harbor. We can just run around the corner to the sass if you want to go there.
Right. It is kind of.
I've never. It doesn't seem to be as good as it used to be. It used to, yeah, I mean, there was a couple places in there that you could go and catch fish pretty much any time of the year. Doesn't seem to be as good. You can talk, or you can catch fish in the springtime in the elk pretty consistently. I mean, you can catch some good bags in there in the springtime, and I've seen some good bags come out of there in the fall too. But I don't know it well enough to be able to consistently catch fish.
It's very big. Like it's a big fucking place.
And most of the fish are going to be in the Bohemia.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Bob says talk to a striper guy that says he gets 7 to 8 pound bass in the fall on big spoons fishing for stripers. Bob, where? Because I'm curious.
So I know.
Bob's not going to tell you.
I know.
He's going to go out there and jig a big spoon.
Yeah, but we don't have
one of
any
your
more.
tournaments.
We don't have any more tournaments.
He's
on
saving
the
that
day.
for, he's saving that for next year.
I know a crabber around here that crabs around here, and he's got permits for fishing nets and everything. And he says that a lot of times in his fishing nets, he says he's pulled up multiple 8, 9, 10 pound, 11 pound largemouth. He says he's pulled. He says he's pulled bigger largemouth bass than what's ever been caught in tournaments.
I hear that
and
from
stuff
like
around here.
everyone.
In the fishing nets.
I hear that from like everyone that has like fishing nets, and I think it makes me think of like, you know, you see the guy on like the random Facebook page that was like, I caught an 8 pounder.
Exactly.
And he's told it before.
So I've thought about that myself. I have.
You know, he told it, you know, he's like, oh, we caught an 8 pounder in that. Like,
I
no,
don't-
it was
I
a big
don't-
fish, but it was like a 5.
I don't
You
doubt
know?
for 1 second, so this fella was out like in the Bush River from what I know, but I don't doubt for 1 second that they've pulled 10 pound bass up in their nets before. I'm sure they have.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure that they've pulled up big fish. I don't know, you know, if it's been 10s.
I mean, we've seen 2 10s weighed in and 1 weigh in before here in the wintertime.
No, we haven't.
Riz has done it.
9s.
No,
Nines.
those are 9s. Riz has never.
I thought they were 10s.
The only person that's ever weighed in a 10 in a tournament on the Upper Bay is John Venor, and he's done it twice in 2 separate tournaments.
That's all.
Maybe that's what it was.
And that was in the springtime.
That's
Thought it was fall.
ridiculous.
I think he's done. I think it was him. I think he did it twice. There was one he did that. He weighed that in an ABA, and there was one weighed in one of Kilby's old tournaments. I'm pretty sure that was John also. One of the main points. I think the main point west of the northeast, like Carpenter Point.
That is.
Carpenter Point is like right there.
It would make sense. I mean, you got multiple channels coming together, and I don't know.
No, Tyler, it wasn't quite 10. It was 9. It was 9 something. It was high. I mean, it was 9.5. I think 9.7 or something like that.
I thought that was
You
an
think I'd
11
remember?
weight. I thought there was an 11 weight in one time.
You think I'd remember? I weighed it in.
And the crazy thing is, you know where that fish was caught too. We won't say it on here.
I
but
did.
We know where it was caught, and it would shock you if you knew.
A lot of people know where that fish was caught.
Yeah, but I still don't want to put it out there for those
They
that
can
don't.
be anywhere.
Yeah, that fish. You know, that fish could have left that area and went somewhere else.
Yep.
I mean, I've talked to people, old timers that have been fishing the bay for 30 plus years that say that bass will move in and out of up and down the bay, in and out of the rivers, up and down the bay, based on the time, the year, the food, the grass. That they'll migrate 20, 30 miles.
Maybe all
So-
the fish moved out of the gunpowder. Sucks so
It
bad they left.
feels like they did, man. Between no grass, being muddy, coastal flooding, 14 days of rain, it's just been a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
I have no intentions of fishing that during my weekdays or even the weekends.
Good.
for a while
Go up to
anymore.
Conowingo.
I mean, honestly, the goal is to go to Conowingo at this point. I don't feel like putting any more time into.
Surprisingly enough, Tyler, I've only been fishing the Upper Bay for like 12 years. I haven't been fishing that long. I didn't start tournament fishing until like 12 years ago.
He said you're 5 to 10 years from being one of the old timers.
Pretty funny. Yeah, I'm only.
I feel like you need to be at least 60 to be one of those old timers. And I got quite a few years before I hit that. Okay.
Has anyone heard any good stuff coming out of Middle River recently?
Middle River is the biggest shithole on the face of the earth, And if that place burned to the ground and all of the water went goodbye, I wouldn't be sorry. It's my least favorite place to fish ever.
I don't even fish there ever.
I like crabbing there, but I mean, I haven't crabbed there yet this year.
I've never been to a place that you pull into and there's the most
Crabbing is
beautiful.
good.
It has been, but it was like there were a couple guys that were whacking them this year, and then you would go out and catch nothing.
Certain places.
I've only crabbed once this year. Me and Kevin.
The thing with Middle River. It's like if you go there to bass fish and you pull into one of these creeks and you're like, oh my god, this is the most beautiful grass bed I've ever seen, and there's not a single damn fish in it.
She got the old bull, but now she wants the young calf. She
Was
grabbed me by the wiener.
so? Wait a minute. Did you fish it before the fish kill?
I have, yeah.
And was it good before the fish kill?
We had a club tournament there. There were literally 3 bass caught in our entire club.
Damn.
Ron caught 2 and Frank caught 1.
When was that? Before
That was before the fish kill, yeah.
I don't know.
And
dude.
we vowed we would never go back there again.
I want these places to be good.
Frank caught a crappie that would have won lunker. We'll put it that way.
Wow. Like I
A
want
crappie would have been our lunker.
I want these places to be good, and they're just not. They suck. Like it's
Like I said, Middle River's got the most beautiful grass of anything in the like lower half of the bay. Like below the flats, the best grass you would ever imagine. There's no fishing.
Dundee the grass it was overpowering this year.
Middle River grass looks 1,000 times better.
Does it really?
Oh, yeah.
Is the water clean and everything?
Super clean.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's stupid.
Dude.
I mean, I haven't been down there in a couple of years, but it's dumb. I actually, you know what? I went down there. The last time I was down there was this spring when I was breaking my boat in. I went back and I always whenever I drive down there, I go back and see Mr. Scott. I just drive back to his dock and talk to him for a minute. I'll talk to him for a minute.
Today on Hogpen Creek, not a day goes by where like if I want to see that video, I want to see his Today on Hogpen Creek video every day.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I got a crazy fish tale. I talked to FWC guy that records daily fish catches for sure. He told me he talked to and seen pics weeks ago from an old guy and his wife with a bass well over 32 inches.
That's insane.
But had no scales and tape measure wasn't big enough for exact length. But they got a tape and it was still over 24 inches larger than the small tape measure. So they had like a 12-inch tape measure. Well, they have a ruler, a school ruler.
What would that weigh?
They pulled it out of their notebook.
What's the guesstimate for what that would
A
weigh?
32-inch bass,
32-inch bass. I mean, that's high
20
teens.
pounds.
17 pounds
Yeah.
probably.
That's insane. Where? Jesus Christ.
I know. I talked to somebody who caught one that was 31 inches, and I think it was like 14 pounds.
Here's a question.
But it was just like long and skinny.
Why is it
God.
that the big bass records, regardless of, yes, Mike Long caught it, but it was still a 25-pound fish. Why?
No,
are
Mike Long never caught
Dottie?
Mike Long never caught Dottie.
No.
I thought he did.
Nobody ever caught Dottie. One guy caught Dottie, and it
it
was
was foul,
He
yeah.
hooked it outside
No
the mouth
way,
and let
dude.
it go.
Wait, so it was Dottie was never 25 pounds.
Dottie was over a world record. Yeah. When
25 pounds? I thought I thought the world record was like
it was never
23.
caught legally.
Yeah. But
Dottie
the
was
fish,
never caught legally.
but the fish was
They
that
found
big. Though. It
they,
died.
They
later,
weighed the
too.
fish. They found the fish dead and weighed it, and it was like 25 pounds.
Dottie?
Yeah. So it died in the lake. They put they found it belly up. They pulled it out, weighed it, and they said it was 25 pounds.
Now, how much of that was water weight though? Like from it
I
swelling
don't
up.
know. I think the guy that caught it, he caught it off a bed. He hooked it outside the mouth, and I think he weighed it. It was over the world record when he caught it.
What's the world
And
record?
he was like actually had some ethics and put it back because he hooked it outside the mouth.
Was he the only one fishing? Was he by himself?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, hats off to that guy, but like, damn.
The world record's 24 and change.
What about that kid that just caught that 9-pound smallmouth up there in New York?
And let it go.
and let it go.
Yeah, that's
that was
pretty cool.
That's pretty
Good for
sick.
Because
him.
he didn't want to kill it. He didn't want that fish to die. He wanted it to
Yeah.
go back in the water.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
100%.
For
I
as
feel
many-
the same way. I probably would have done the same
I would have
thing.
done the same
The
thing.
way
yeah.
taxidermist is now, like you can get plenty good pictures of that thing and get a very good replica mount.
Yeah,
and-
but it was for the record.
Right.
New York wanted him to keep it so they could get accurate measurements of it, and he just let it go. He
Yeah,
may
but it's
still
like-
he may still get the record because the scale that they weighted on was certified.
Mm-hmm.
It was a certified scale. So.
Yeah, hopefully.
yeah, and-
I would like to get a Bubba scale. Now, granted, I don't catch enough fish to have a Bubba scale.
stop fishing the gunpowder.
But it would just be so nice to have one and then just
Would you say a Bubba scale?
the Bubba scale.
I mean, or a Rapala scale is the same thing.
But the Bubba scale like
Yeah,
connects.
the Bubba,
with
isn't the Bubba
everything.
scale certified though?
No,
You have to get them
and
certified.
I can tell you that they're you have to get any scale certified.
I got a question for Jim.
Because we have a couple guys. We did a catch weigh release this summer when we did our Bush River tournament. Just because the water temperature was so hot. It was July and the water temperature was gross, so we decided to do catch weigh release.
It's the number one. It's the best scale on the market.
And we did. So
What did it take to
two
win
people
that? Just
had-
curious.
I won it with 15.
Okay.
I had 15 and a half out of the gunpowder.
Okay, that's cool.
I ran to the gunpowder.
Anyone catch him in the bush?
I beat them things up. There were a couple limits out of the bush, but Larry Kunkel stayed in the bush. He had 4 for 11.
Those are good four fish. I mean, solid.
So anyway, our meeting before this tournament, we had everybody bring their scales in, and we had like 3 Bubba scales and like 4 Rapala scales, and none of like the Rapala scales. We weighed them with I bought a 5-pound plate in, and just weighed it, just so we had something that was close.
Right.
Like
They're
three-
also not exactly 5 pounds.
No, but three of them weighed the same. We didn't care like what the total weight was, but 3 of them weighed the same. One of the Rapala scales was off. One of the Bubba scales weighed exact, and 2 of them were like an ounce off.
Really?
Yeah,
And an ounce can mean a lot.
Ounce on the Bubba scale.
1 ounce. 2 of them were 1 ounce off.
Yeah, and an
Like
ounce
1 ounce.
can-
I'm not saying 1 ounce off. They were 1 ounce different from the other Bubba scale. So there's variation. There's going to be variation where that's why you have to get each scale certified.
I can't believe that the scale that's promoted by BASS and everything right now is like off compared to Rapala's.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all about money.
It's just so much of a nicer scale.
The Bubba scale
not really that
cost billions and
so the-
billions of dollars.
The features
Depends
of
on
it
which
are
one.
so
like,
nice.
like if you're like the
It would be
$200
so
one.
cool for all of us to go out and like do the
For
features,
sure.
like do
I
that
do like
and
that.
whatnot. And
The-
supposedly it's supposed to be within like 0.1 or 0.2 of.
I can tell you right now, if I fished an MLF tournament today on Conowingo, I would have had over 100 pounds. There's no question.
So
I would do the Bubba scale over the other scale. Like if I was gonna buy a scale, I'm gonna get a Bubba scale.
Bubba, I like my
What's
Rapala
that
scale.
Rapala scale? Was it like $60?
Yeah, like 55.
Yeah, and then I guess the Bubba scale is like a.
Bubba scale's 100 and 200, depending on which one you get. The $100 for the light, which the one that's $100, it has no additional features over the Rapala scale. And it's twice the price. And I can tell you though, like based, compared to like our club scales, my Rapala scale is usually within like, it's less than 1/10 of a pound off, like almost every time when I decide to use mine.
I have a scale and I've never opened the box.
I do it a lot. I mean, it makes culling so much easier.
To me, the cull beam is the best when you're culling.
It is, but if you so a cull, I'll do a cull beam if they're within like a couple hundredths of each other. I'll use a cull beam, but when you have like say you have a 2.3 and a 2.5, wasting time with a cull beam.
It's funny. Brings up a funny story.
You're wasting that time culling that fish. Where if it's 2/10 off, like I'm trusting the scale.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna grab the one that's 2.3 and chuck it. But if they're within a couple hundreds or a few hundreds, anything less than like, if like they're both like 2.3, like one's 2.32 and one's 2.38, I'll throw them on the balance beam.
It was
just to
so
make sure.
it was so funny that first tournament that me and Miles, the first Open on Conowingo that me and Miles won. We were sitting on this stretch of whatever we were fishing, and I was on a jig bite. Like it was dropping it in on the scope, watching the jig hit the structure, and then just seeing the fish just go to it and just catching them. And it was like almost every cast for about 20 minutes. And they were all good ones. Like, they were all over 3 pounds. And Miles was sitting in the back of the boat. He's like, dude, I need help. He's like, I haven't thrown a cast in an hour. I'm like, you don't have to. Sit there and figure out which fish is bigger than the next one that I catch. Because I'm like, I'm not putting my rod down to help you weigh fish, dude. They're eating.
Martin said, they used to use the Brecknell scales in MLF. The Brecknell scale is probably the best scale that's out there, but they're like $250.
I kind of felt bad because
and they have none of the features that like you would get with like the Bubba, the $200 Bubba scale.
I kind of felt bad because I was sitting there and like in that whole stretch of when we were just pounding, I think Miles caught like 2 fish on it, and I probably caught 20. But it was because he was sitting in the back of the boat, like playing with fish, and I was just like, Miles, I got another one, like throw the little one out, because you can't you can't have 6, you cannot have more than like while your partner's calling, you're stopping. Yeah. So I was like, don't pick up a rod, sit here and figure out the next one to go, because I'm going to catch another one. And I felt like a dick, but I was like, I don't really care.
I've caught him I've caught him.
Well, this all leads up to the championship that you're about to fish on Sunday.
I've caught him so fast on the Nanaco in a TBF tournament one time that we came in with 6 fish.
Oh shit!
Because we doubled up like 3 casts in a row, and we only threw 3 fish back instead of 4 fish back or something.
What are your Pocomoke dates? Because I would like to go down there one day.
You said the 14th, right?
I said the 13th, I think.
13th Sunday.
14th a Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I should be open that day. I have somebody who's supposed to go out with me one day, so I don't know what day they're going
Yeah,
out.
just let me know. I would like to fish it just to fish it. I think it would be a cool place to fish.
And then the 15th and 16th, Jim's fishing with me. I think Goins.
Cool.
He's my rider for the tournament.
So that's cool. And what is that, the last chance?
The state championship.
Oh, okay, cool.
They don't have a last chance anymore.
How'd you get in the state championship if you didn't fish the SQTs?
Second in Mr. Bass.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have to fish. I was going to fish the SQTs this year, and then I got second in Mr. Bass. I was like, well, I guess I don't have to do that.
I still really want to fish the SQTs, but my schedule just never works.
I might fish them next year.
I would really enjoy fishing them. It's just the schedule is always a
I look at
cluster.
it this way. Like, it's a good value if you think about it. Like, you're not going to win a lot of money on it, but you have the opportunity to go to the national championship and
that's
stuff
what
like
I
that.
care about.
And it's like it's $300. It's like $350 for 4 tournaments, right? So, what, $80 a tournament,
Right.
So you're not spending a ton of money to get into the tournament.
What are they drawing boat wise now? Like 30 boats?
I don't know, something like that.
I fished one in 2018 and I really enjoyed it, even though that was like the worst run of all time.
Oh, that run was terrible. And I only went to the bush.
Jim says he's been through 2 Brecknell scales and he's broken 2 of them.
Jim,
they're supposed to be super accurate though. They're from what I'm told.
Jim, when's the last time you caught a smallmouth?
It's funny.
Dude, after fishing Conowingo so much this year, I could give a shit about a largemouth right now. I could just give a shit. Like, I don't care.
It looks like they had 21, 22,
Never.
23, 24, 25,
Seriously?
26,
Never?
We need to get Jim to come up here, and then we need to go down there.
Looks like they had 28 boats.
Jim can stay with us to catch smallmouth for a week, and we'll go down there and catch the largemouth.
You know what you should
for a week.
You know what you should fish next year?
What's
you
that?
fish the TBF next year.
I'd have to look at the schedule. They're all teams, right?
It's all team. It's 5 team tournaments, one drop.
What's the entry?
It's $150 per tournament. They pay back a fair amount.
Mm-hmm.
I think so at 10 boats, we pay back the top 3 places, and it's 500, 300, 100.
That's not bad.
And the rest of the money goes toward the end of the year.
Right.
So we just fished the semifinals. So you can qualify for the semifinals if you're in the top 6, and then some other places below that.
My killer.
how that works, but
Yeah.
like we paid the entry fees for the top 6, so they didn't have to pay their entry fees to get into the tournament, and we paid $100,
What's up, Sam?
$200 per team for travel expenses since it was on the Potomac. So, so that's where the rest of the money goes from the entry fees. It goes
That
to
would
stuff like
that would be the
And
killer.
then the people who go to nationals, because nationals is always in like the Midwest.
Is that funded? If you
goes-
make it?
So we give a significant, or this year so last year it was not funded, but we got some money.
Yeah.
This year it's going to be a lot more.
That would be my killer for me is the Potomac. The Potomac would be the toughest place for me to fish because I don't have any time in on the place.
We got second on the Potomac this year.
I have a couple spots where I can catch fish down there, but like,
We thought we were going to win. We had 17 pounds. We were like, hot damn, like we might have this. Nope. Ed K and Sully had just under 20 at 19.9 or something. But it's a good trail.
nice.
We had about 17 teams this year that fished at some point, throughout the year.
How many make it? Top whatever.
So the top 6 make it, and then there's the top. We can send, depending on how many clubs we have, and they're all paper clubs. You can send one person per club up to 20 members, and then if they have over 20 members, you can send more people. So
I mean-
Bass Legends is part of the Maryland TBF, and because they have 40 members, we can send 4 people.
I would be up for doing it. I would just have to see what the schedule looks like. If the schedule works with mine, then I would be. I want to fish. I want to fish a trail with
Our
like
yearly dues are $100.
yeah.
So that's $50 that goes to the TBF, $50 that goes to Maryland TBF.
I want to fish a trail that has something that you're working towards other than just points
TBF.
or like whatever.
I fished the national championship twice.
Yeah. Like
So-
the Conowingo Opens are great and they're fun, but it's like, okay, if I win every tournament on Conowingo and get Angler of the Year, that's all I get.
You get some money, and that's it.
You don't even get money for AOI.
But you get money for the tournaments.
Yeah.
Obviously. But
But it's like I would rather fish the SQTs, have a chance, like state team. I would feel proud of that if I made the state team and like got a chance to go fish somewhere for regionals or whatever. Like I would think that's pretty cool.
well, look at the schedule. I might need a partner next year.
If I can do it, I would do it. Like if the schedule works out with mine. Now, granted, since I got promoted and took over company command, my schedule's been a lot less forgiving than it has been in the past. But that's not going to be forever. Like when I rotate out in a year or two, probably a year and a half, 2 years, I'll have a lot more of my weekends back to do trails. And stuff
TBF's fun though. Like the semifinal is always fun. It's not like the old regional where you had to travel for bass. Where
Sebago, Maine, or some shit. Yeah.
So it's always in state. It's either on the Upper Bay, the Potomac, or the Eastern Shore. It's Nanticoke. So it's always on the Nanticoke because that's like the approved river over there for Delaware. It's on the Potomac when DC hosts it, and it's on the Upper Bay when we host it. So you never have to travel real far. Nationals now, like we went to Texas. Both times I've been to Nationals. It's been in Texas, but still super cool. Like both times we went down
Conroe and then
Conroe and Rayburn. So we went down when I made Conroe. We went down a few days early and fished Rayburn for like 3 days. So you could check one of those bucket lists off.
right.
And then this
Isn't
year,
Rayburn just huge?
it's giant. Yeah, it's ridiculously huge.
A little bit bigger than Conowingo, huh?
We'll put it this way: we made the second day that I fished down there, we made about a 30-minute run, and we were only about halfway up the lake.
Wow.
But so this year when we went down, me and Tom went down a couple of days early, and we fished Fork for 2 days. So that was cool.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I would just like to fish something that has like an end goal, like a working towards like making the next regional or the next thing. But the schedule is just always a problem.
And then when you get to the nationals, so if you get to nationals, then you not only compete for $100,000 as a boater. It's $100,000 counting the boat, like the boat's included. It's like it's a new Ranger and $20,000 in cash.
It's not like a
Something like
20 footer. It's like an 18 or something.
No, it's a 20. It was a 520.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a 520C last year.
Nice.
It's always a 20-foot Ranger with a 250.
What's the tournament that John Duarte won? We got that. He won that Ranger a couple
He
years
won
ago.
a Toyota Series. That was a Toyota series, I think.
You win a boat every Toyota series?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
How many? How many? How many?
It's a Phoenix now.
So if you win a tournament, you get a boat.
If you win as a co-angler, if you win a tournament, you get a boat.
No shit.
It's now it's a boat certificate, and I think John upgraded his. He might, or it was either that or he won a regional, the BFL regional.
Okay.
It was one of the two, but but now it's the Toyotas are, it's a 18-foot Ranger with a 115. And that's the max horsepower for that. But you can always, you get that certificate, and whatever the value is like of that boat,
You sell it.
like you can. Well, no, you can use that certificate and upgrade. So if the value was $40,000, that would be $40,000 towards your
new boat.
721 or whatever you wanted. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff with the TBF, man. Like once you get to nationals, you compete against your region. So your region, our division is Maryland, Delaware, and DC. Our region is like West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Delaware, or like whatever. So it's like 8 states, and you compete against them. And so the top person, as long as you're an MLF member, they have a deal with MLF. The top person from the region qualifies for the BFL All American. So you can fish the BFL All American for free.
How's it work if you're a co?
You fish the All American as a co.
Okay.
So if you're a co, you can make the All American.
Even
as
if
a
it's
co.
team format.
It's not team format once you get to only the trail is team format.
Okay.
So the semifinals is a draw tournament. So our Maryland, DC, Delaware, that's a draw tournament. But our trail itself to qualify for that is a team format.
Gotcha.
And one of you qualifies as a boater, and one of you qualifies as a co-angler, and you can always figure that out. Like it doesn't you don't have to declare it at the beginning of the year. You can declare it at the end of the year. It doesn't really matter to us. But we're trying to make it a really good trail. We had some issues this year that I need to work out, but it sucks. What happens? I'll talk about it. I don't want to talk about it on here, but it involves somebody we know, and put it this way, I only ended up getting like 2 hours of sleep the night before the tournament. Like I felt so bad.
The Montreal screw job.
Yeah, for real.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh
Was that without getting into specifics? That was like what level of organization at the TBF was responsible for that? The state,
it wasn't
regional, or
it really had nothing to do with that. It was just there was a rule in place and somebody dropped out, so a co-angler had to go home, and
that sucks.
somebody had some medical issues and had dropped out, so it was a matter of like who had to go home, and yeah, it was just not a good situation. So we're gonna enact some rules over the winter to help prevent some of that from happening.
Gotcha.
Because it sucked, and me and Thomas Gim, our president, we felt, both of us, felt so bad about it. I still feel bad about it. So yeah, it sucks, but hopefully we can get some of that squared away, or we will get some of that squared away over the winter, and so to help prevent that from happening. Obviously, if you can't please everybody, somebody's going to have to go home, right? If a boater drops out or a co-angler drops out, one of the two is going to have to go home,
right?
So we're going to try to make a better process for that, so that it's not so shitty,
right?
Because that's exactly what the situation ended up being, was shitty, because we didn't have rules on the books to prevent, to make it an easier process.
Right.
Put it this way: the person who went home didn't deserve to go home, or the person who didn't fish. So it just sucked all the way around.
Right. Yeah, it does suck. But damn, it's almost 9:00. We got it for 2 hours.
Yep.
I'm gonna get up early and go catch them tomorrow, hopefully.
I got to go pick up my trolling motor.
Yep.
I didn't see Scott wasn't on tonight, so
is your boat just been down, pretty much?
not long. Frank took. So I was on the Potomac last week. So Frank had to pick up his Talon. So he took my trolling motor up for me last week, and Scott called me today, and it was done.
How's Frank's boat been? I know he's had some issues with it in the past, but it's been good so far. Great.
Yeah,
That's good.
He hasn't had too many issues.
I like that boat. I think it's a pretty cool.
The only
looking boat.
issues, the biggest issue he's had is his trolling motor.
So it's
He's
funny.
had a lot of problems with
It's
it.
funny you say that because there's another individual who, you know, on Conowingo. I won't say his name out
heard.
here. I won't say his name. Has had a ridiculous amount of issues with his power pull move.
Martin, it had a so it was a problem from the beginning. The shaft was twisted. So my trolling motor head.
Oh,
If my trolling motor was pointing this way, the trolling motor head was pointing off this way. So it didn't line up. So it wasn't anything major. It was just a defect in the shaft, and it's been that way since I got it. I just got around to getting it fixed. So yeah, I remember you said he had some problems with his move. What was it? What kind of problems did he have with his move? Do you know?
just
And
shit
you have
breaking.
the Quest too, so like
What's that?
you have the Quest too. I haven't heard any issues. I haven't heard very many issues with the Quest whatsoever.
Yeah, Scott Dice fixed it. He just replaced the shaft for me. So it's done. It's done. I just got to go up there tomorrow and pick it up and slap it back on the boat.
Yeah, he had shit breaking, like
Yeah.
stupid stuff, like structural stuff that was breaking.
See, Frank's has all been like electronic. He's had boards that went out, and the board and the motor went out, the board and the pedal went out, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, my Quest. I've had zero issues with my Quest. Like, it has worked flawlessly. The motor, there was just a problem with the shaft from the factory. Like, and that motor's amazing. I love it.
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if they have any deals on Prime Day, and I'm probably gonna pick one up.
That thing weighs a ton though.
The Quest?
Yeah,
Really?
it's super heavy.
So maybe I shouldn't get the Quest.
That's the reason that Frank went with the
No,
move.
I would get the Quest.
Is the motor guide lighter?
The motor guy's a giant hunk of shit, but
But is it lighter?
Never do not
get the
do
move.
that.
Definitely get the move before the power or before the motor guide.
The move is a lot more expensive.
The moves, well, it's not that much more expensive than the Quest.
Yeah.
I mean, the Quest is $4.
What about the Garmin? The Garmin Force?
They're all right. Yeah, they're okay. Like, they're
I
not.
would not do anything motor good.
Depend. Like, what kind of electronics are you putting in your boat?
My Humminbirds and my
Your
Garmin.
nice
The same
ass-
shit I have on
Your
now.
nice ass bullet with all the stuff on it, do not
Get a
put
Quest.
motor guide on.
Yeah, but the problem is it's a bullet, so the weight up front's going to make a difference.
It doesn't matter. You don't need to go 95 miles an hour.
Overpower the trolling
It'd be fun, though.
motor. Always overpower the trolling motor.
You know
put
what
a
the-
Quest on there.
Well,
Put
the
a
power
Quest,
between
put
like
an
a
all
Quest,
tracks, put a Force. Any one of them.
the motor guide's got the same amount of power. They just break a lot.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if it's worth that much money to go with the Quest instead of just the regular Ultrex.
Yes, 100%. I have zero regrets.
Not even one letter.
Not even one letter.
Nice.
I love it. That's probably the best thing that I've spent money on. That thing's such a beast.
I got to figure out. I got to see how the bullet.
I'm like, what are you doing? Then I looked at the screen. And I was like,
I got to see how the bullet's going to run with lithiums versus not lithiums. And I just got to figure it out.
Well, I
'Cause
mean,
I'm putting the 10s on it.
so if you do lithiums, you just do what every other bullet owner that put lithiums in it, and you take a bag of shot and throw it in a bilge.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if the 10s will cover the weight versus lead acid lithiums.
Doubt it.
Probably not. I mean, it's still going to be an 80-mile-an-hour boat loaded with a partner, regardless of what I do.
It'll be more than that.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to be fast. It's going to be insane.
It'll be in the 80s
Yeah.
for sure, with a 250 on it.
With that 250 especially. Yeah. That's a hammered 250. That's like the meanest 250. Well, so I was reading about it, and they say I was reading a lot of comparisons. They say the XB is really good for heavier boats like bass boats and stuff like that. But if you have like a really like an Allison, like not a bass boat, the Pro Max is the way to go. Like if you're really pinching pounds, the Pro Max is the deal. But if you're trying to get a heavier boat to go fast, the XB seems to be better.
Yeah, those XBs are good motors.
Yeah, everything I've read about it and everyone I've talked to said it'll run pretty much forever and they're fast as shit. They said you won't pass a gas
I
line.
mean, our buddy from Team Marine was very excited when you said you were putting an XB on it.
Yes, sir. He was.
So
So,
On that
anyways,
note,
we're out of here.